Hoist the big one with us. Welcome, Fanta, for our
Hey,
1000th episode. Hola and hello to everyone. Hey, Fanta.
hey, hey, happy 1000.
Yeah, we got some stiff competition. We got Stato, who's recently had a bad turn.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you know all about that, losing
Yeah,
his wife in an accident and everything. But I'm glad to
yeah,
see he's streaming and posting, at
yeah,
least a couple times a day on Twitter, and our prayers are with him. And um, it's just a bad situation all the way around. But
yeah.
I've never caught one of his streams live, but I went in there and said hello to Mo Biggs and Henry Bemis and some other people that were in there uh, before
Love
the
all those
stream
guys.
began. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I will be on the Omer Glitch Hump Day show later tonight drawing. We had Elliot Rodriguez on. He said, "Thank you very much for having me on. I had fun."
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Uh, very, very gracious person,
Mm-hmm.
glad he could come on earlier. I only had him for about an hour, but some people are busy. Kind of like Scarlet Fever in the house.
Hey, Scarlett.
Happy 1K stream. Absolutely. If we can't be happy, we don't want to do it. We lost our minds in Florida, Kate says. Um, Crooked Painter in the house. Laugh out loud. Let's see what kind of trouble I can get in here. I guess I made a bunch of lefties have their period over a comment from the about the LA. Okay.
Mm. Hi,
1K
Crooked Painter.
celebration. Yes. Swoosh, 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 shush, shadow. Kate from Orlando.
Hey,
Um,
Kate. Shadow.
yeah, yep. You're the first
Oh,
in, Fanta. How about that?
hey,
We've been looking to do this for a while now.
hey.
you know, we've been striving for 1,000 for a while. Have we not,
Mm-hmm.
my co-host?
Well,
Hail Fanta,
everybody.
what?
Hey, Shadow.
What's
Everybody from
happening?
Hens Chat, say congratulations and hello.
Well, howdy,
Awesome.
hun. And
Well,
check.
I have my very big Stein. This is from college days. I don't know where I picked it up. I've had it so long, but I've had it for over 40 years, about 40 years.
That's a
And
biggie.
yeah, it's a biggie. Big Stein to drink out of.
Is that
Um,
plastic? What's it made out of?
well, it's ceramic. I'm
Oh, okay.
told it's not really safe to drink out of, but you know,
It's not really safe to drink out of. That's good.
because maybe the clay and the broke or the kind of cracked, you know, the age of it.
Oh,
whatever,
yeah. You might get
kind of
yeah.
lead poisoning, whatever. Hey, we're gonna do it for the show today. But I had to. I'm gonna have to drink this. This is a 2019, so not that old, but it was one that was handy within a Moscato that is room temperature. The bottle feels a little chilled because it's cold, right? But I've had the heat up.
Yeah.
I tried a couple cork bottles, a red and a white. A Moscato and a red something table wine that I had chilled for a very long time, but I couldn't get the damn cork out. I mean, they're like, you know, I got to get a better cork opener.
You gotta get one of the ones that pumps the air into the bottle and just pops it out for you.
Yes, absolutely. Because man, some of those are in there. So
Fail,
I went with the screw off. Don't really have a lot of screw offs. Most of them are corked wines, you know. So
Yeah.
I think the Moscato is usually better a little bit chilled, though, right?
Holy cow. That take up the whole bottle?
That's a big stein, all right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it goes up to about right here. I still got room.
Go big or go home.
So what she said.
That's
That's pretty good. Even just like that. That's sweet. Yeah. That's I don't know how many ounces that is, but that's the whole bottle in there. Let's see. What's the proof on this?
This could get interesting.
Oh, it will.
By the time I finish this, it will.
You get halfway through that thing, you're gonna be off your ass already.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yes. There.
Well, happy 1000th, Rex.
Well,
it's been a long, strange trip, my friend.
We've been striving after this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
It's like, yeah, Emil, yeah, get down the course, yeah. We've been coaxing this thing for a while to get it to 1,000, right? And now we're here. You know, it was inevitable. It was going to happen. You know.
Did you see my video?
Yeah. Well, I saw your post that said the 1000 show and told everybody to tune in. I didn't see the video, dear.
Oh.
Nope. Sorry, I didn't have time today.
Did topic list last night, and you probably saw it, Shadow, because I saw you in the chat earlier today. But I did a Cortex. This will be, I think that's good enough. We'll do, and since he's in the supplement, we'll put that as a trading card with his name on there, probably up top where it's, you know, say just Cortex. Did you like my idea of just the again, my camera's messing with it, making it more purple, you know. Some of the magentas and whatnot, but that's pretty spot on. You know, it takes some of the reds and makes them purple. Also did a 2-ton, but I'm not happy with that.
No. Yeah, I heard you talking about it earlier. I didn't get to actually watch it though. A lot of the times when I'm at work, I'm just listening. You know, if I get a chance, I'll pop in and leave a comment. But at that point, I was listening, so I heard you talking about Cortex. You were actually when you were talking to Elliot, because I heard him go, "Oh, that's cool." So,
Elliot Rodriguez was on with me earlier today because he, you know, needed me to go to about 9:30 my time because he's in Peru, a different time zone. Well, I guess he's about what Peru's maybe Eastern time or Eastern time.
I'm not sure, dude. Yeah,
I think it's Eastern. Yeah,
could be.
I mean, he's the one that requested the time.
I'm surprised that Elliot remembered me. I haven't talked to him in God knows how long.
He was just being polite. He didn't know who you were.
So. Yeah, whatever.
No, he really reacted like, "Oh yeah, Shadowhawk. Oh yeah."
I'm trying to remember where I met him at. It might have been over on an old Jason and
I was at his
Hill,
christening, his best man at his wedding. He was like, yeah, man, Shadowhawk,
yeah.
He called me Fanta, so he remembers me.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
If you know 70s drinks, you're kind of hard to forget, you know.
Fanta is still around.
You know who, Nazi German, invented Fanta. Isn't that wild? Because they couldn't get Coca-Cola.
Oh,
yeah,
no
they
shit.
did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but I'm not Fanta because of the drink. I'm Fanta because some people can't pronounce Phantasmagorical.
Right.
I can, but just
I know you can.
Yeah. But also, you always have Purple Hearts, and I always think of Grape Fanta whenever I have
Purple Hearts.
It's probably the better flavor.
This thing will give you a workout. You know, you got to have some muscle to lift it when it's got the stuff in it.
I got some purple drink.
Purple drink.
I guess you're drinking bourbon today, or usually
gets me some what they call it, zizzle in my nibble. Some zizzle.
You lean. That's when you put codeine in your purple drink and you lean to the side after you drink it.
That's right. Got my scissor bone.
I'll thank Elliot later. Usually I do right after the show, but he said thanks. It was a lot of fun, so it was a lot of fun, to meet
Elliot. That was a fun show today. I got to listen to most of it. Like I said, I didn't get to watch a whole lot.
I've seen him in the chat. Yeah, he even, I don't know if you caught this, but he even asked me to come over on his channel and talk about Devil Fire, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I love that cross pollination between channels,
Yeah.
And
that was one of the last things you guys talked about before you ended the show, because I know Elliot had to run.
Cross pollination, I think you're spreading your seed.
It's all Rex ever thinks about is spreading some seed.
I'm trying to be, that's all I need at my age, No, really. That's all I need. Christopher, did you, Crooked Piner, did you like the early version sent by Kreger? I'm not seeing, he's going to finish up the 2-page spread today on the midnight 2-page spread. He hadn't sent me anything updated yet, but
that hurt.
That's awesome that you have J. Kreger art. Wow.
Dude, man, he turned that around fast too. I mean, it's like
once he got on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
I knew he would. Yeah.
He's got me looking like Clint Eastwood. I love it.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, and it looks like you. I mean, this is the drawn interior here. Lack looks like his photograph, and Christopher looks like his. This is not the. He's going to put the horse in the top left-hand corner, and go ahead and put Christopher down below where he had his signature in that one dream catcher, and move his signature. But
okay.
Yeah, we got all three of you dudes in there, and
the three amigos.
Huh?
The three amigos.
We are here too.
Three caballeros. Did you just dox me? Yeah, I think I probably did. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I doxed myself the other night trying to send
the
reference photo
under that name. So I don't know if that's doxing at that point. It may be public knowledge. Didn't LZ dox you recently? Shadowhawk with a picture.
No, I doxed myself.
Oh, you doxed yourself.
Yeah, when I was sending when I sent the reference to you, I somehow or another shouted out on my Instagram, which is connected to the Facebook. So it's everywhere now.
He doxed himself.
I can't blame it on being drunk, Crooked Painter. At first, he had you just as in your picture. He had you with the cap and the hoodie, but he put this black hat on you.
Yeah, I didn't have a cap on in the picture.
Right, and he put a Clint Eastwood. You wanted a Clint Eastwood style from
Yeah, I like it.
From his favorite Western and one of yours, Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hat you wanted. I couldn't remember what hat he wore. He wore a similar hat in most of his movies, but not always.
Yeah, it's almost not quite the Billy Jack kind of, but more beat up.
The Billy Jack is like a Haas hat, like a larger hat.
Yeah, it's got that domed. Yeah, it's like domed at the top. But similar brim.
I'm glad you're happy with it, Crooked Painter.
No, it looks great to me. I hope Crooked is happy.
Yeah, you can imagine with I mean, we'll leave it black and white, but you can imagine that color.
I was surprised. Elsie was actually quicker than Cracker with turning around my self-doxing. He sent me drawings the next day. He's like, "Here's mine, Shadow." I was like, "Oh shit, all right."
And it looked like you.
He did a good job, bro.
He sent it to me on my phone, and
he said you laughed. Thanks, asshole.
I sent him an emoji. Yeah, I sent him an emoji, and he says, "Why are you crying today?" And I said, I said I was laughing, hysterically or whatever, when you said that, because I remembered your story about being doxxed or whatever, and
No, it's funny. LZ texted me. He's like, I talked to Rex earlier to send him a copy of the picture of you that I drew, and he just laughed. I was like, well, that fucker.
I had my reasons.
Yeah. Bite me.
He did a great job on it.
No, he did very well. Yeah, he did a few different versions of it as well. He sent me like 4 different pictures. So I don't know if it was work in progress all on the same one. It looks like it's hard to tell. A couple of them could be actually separate drawings. I'm not sure.
To answer, I'll show you. I'll show you the reference pictures. Of course, I won't show you Crooked Painters because he's. I mean, I guess I could. That's his icon.
Well, I mean, the drawing looks just like him from what you said. So
it does. I mean, he literally did the photo reference.
Yeah.
Here's Lax right there, and that's what he's got in there. That style hat and whatnot. And actually, I asked for the Billy Jack hat on him, but really, this looks okay too. I'm sure he'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Mr. Alaskan buckskin,
Yeah, Lex he's in Alaska, right? Is that where he's at?
North to Alaska. Del A in the house. Hey, Del A.
Hi,
and
Dale.
Timothy Olsen.
Hi, Timothy.
Yo, Timmy.
Yeah, now he's in Florida right now, but when he goes up to Alaska and works on the trails, I don't know.
Yeah, when he was doing the ice roads, right? Like building the fucking ice roads that those guys use. That's insane, man.
The heavy machinery. And then here's
I hope they fucking pay him really, really good for that shit. Because I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me enough.
And he had him just like that till he put on a cowboy hat on him. Grim Adam in the house. Hey, Grim.
Hey, Grim.
Good to see you.
Hey, Grim. I don't see him around too often anymore.
He's been coming in his chat.
Yeah,
recently, yeah.
And I don't know.
I used to see him all the time in. Was it Dark Ghost chat? He was coming in. I think it was Dark Ghost.
I was thinking it was a Haas hat, but yeah, it is. It's not rounded and tall. Like
no, it's more. That's more of a Indian kind of cowboy.
That's hat. The Billy Jack hat right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I said, well, do you want to wear a hat? And he gave me this as a reference.
Cool.
And that's
Yeah.
definitely the Billy Jack hat, you know, or something
Mhm.
similar. I don't know about the band on it, but looks like it's been a while since I've watched. They actually made 3 movies in that Billy Jack trilogy. I saw a Western where that he was in the early 60s. The guy that played Billy Jack when he was real
Oh,
young. Yeah. He played like a guy out to get somebody, you know, the gun that comes in to try to gun down the other person and push them into a fight and everything. And I said, he looks for me. Oh, damn, that's Snap. That's Billy Jack. This is the earliest stuff I've ever seen him in, you know?
Oh, that's crazy. For some reason, he kind of reminds me of young Mel Gibson in the original Mad Max.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just something about him in that old movie, like the way he carries himself or whatever, very, very similar to Mad Max in that first movie.
Hmm. I
I'm
seem
not
to
sending
remember.
nothing until I know who the dude is. He can watch it if he wants. I just want to know before what that's all about. Page 17 is finished. Timothy Olsen says.
Failton.
Hey.
That's part about coming in Jackson on season. That's fine. Sorry, guys. Granted. Never fails this time of day.
Yeah, I get phone calls all the time.
And I got my spam blocker on, but it's still I still get tons of them.
Except for the placement of the figures there, you know, the dream catchers up in the corner. That's kind of what I designed. And then, you know, he said, and then we'll put rocks in the background. So he put rocks in the sky. I just thought it was going to be rocks, you know, but he's got rocks a lot lower than what I thought. And then some sky clouds and stuff. So it's pretty neat 2-page layout. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, Fanta, when we get it printed, you know, and have it big magazine size, you know.
Yeah, I'll take it outside in the daylight.
Yeah, maximum light, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was looking for, you know, what reference pictures, you know, I had sent him. And then I won't show Shadowhawk's picture, but he sent him, you know, I sent him that over the phone, I think. All the rest was over on Instagram or X. He has nuked his X account lately, just the other day. So
Jay Krager?
Yeah. He just doesn't like a lot of the crap he sees on there.
Okay.
And he's right. I mean, I get a lot of porn stuff, and I'm not even that, you know, filtered through there, you know. So
you see,
no one cares like Crooked cares.
I don't really just scroll through Twixer. I go to my notifications and I check those, and that's it. Or I post a video on there sometimes. That's it.
Jay Krager, Timothy.
Yeah.
Who just did the midnight 2-page spread. Yeah, I mean, if you know, I knew he was a great portrait artist, and if anybody could do a good job on the likenesses of people for the drawn interior, it would be Jay, you know. And he's been on my short list wanting to, you know, to work with.
Rex, put him on the list.
I might have to get up with him for a Chris Cornell portrait commission.
Oh, yeah. I bet he could do a nice one for you.
Mm-hmm.
I and the Nazis have that in common. We have a list. Anyway, moving on with the show.
On with the show. This is it.
Hell Hydra, by the way. Captain America is a dirty dog. You know.
I will never forgive Marvel for that bullshit.
Rewrite the lore. You know, he's not a patriot at all.
No, he's been an agent of the Nazis. He was the original Manchurian candidate, apparently. So.
Oh yeah, for decades. I mean,
Yeah,
it would
fuck
be
off,
hard to
Marvel.
go
Man,
back
you
and
wonder why I don't buy anything Marvel anymore. As
well,
much
I
as I
mean,
love Wolverine and Deadpool and X-Men.
what a horrible idea. I mean, that's almost a Hail Mary. I painted myself into a corner. You know, get out of jail free thing.
It's
I mean, if
yeah,
you go back and
bullshit.
look, it makes no sense whatsoever. Him doing all the things that he did in all those stories, and yet he was a Hydra agent, doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense.
No, none of it. Why would he fight so hard against the Red Skull? I mean, they both had the same fucking goals all this time. Right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That had no sense. That made no
It,
sense. He
no,
was
it's just
frozen.
it's just, well,
How could
that's
he
the
be an
problem
agent of
nowadays.
Hydra?
Is you get stupid, lazy writers who get hired by DC and Marvel. They don't want to learn the lore. They want,
Mhm.
well, this is my chance to do Spider-Man
They don't
my
want to
way.
build up. They
This,
just want to
yeah,
drop that on you. That
well, they just
everything.
want to do
They
their
want to
whatever.
subvert
Yeah.
expectations just for the
Mhm.
sake of subverting expectations, and say,
But
"Look,
I
we
also,
just
you
dropped a
gotta
bomb
blame.
on Hiroshima."
Well, you got to blame that on the editors, though, because if the editors were doing their job and going, no, this is not
But do
continuity
you?
for
I
the
mean, the
character,
editors
this is
work for
not in
someone
line
higher
with
up too,
the.
right?
Well, everybody's got a boss, Rex, until you get to the CEO. I mean, and then
Yeah.
he's got a fucking board of directors and
I'd like to
investors.
know whose genius ideal came up with that. We'll make him a Hydra agent.
Oh, some asshole! I guarantee you, it was one of these new
One of the
writers.
DEI hires.
Hmm. Like I said, and that's the biggest problem. They don't want to learn the history of the character. You know, Captain America's been around for what, 75, 85 years at this point. They're not
Mhm.
Right.
going to go learn about that. They're just going to go, I'm going to write Captain America my way.
There
And
was no
he's
Hydra.
always been a Nazi.
There was no Hydra up till about 60 years ago in the Silver Age, and he's been around since 1940.
Right.
Uh,
So he didn't even start fighting Hydra until he was fighting Nazis first.
till the 1960s, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Hydra wasn't even a thing till Marvel Tales, or I mean,
Well,
Tales of Suspense.
wasn't it in the late 50s, early 60s when the Iranian, or not Iranians, the Israelis caught up with a bunch of the Nazis that had fled, and they did the Nuremberg trials and all that stuff.
That was right after the war, the Nuremberg trials, like 1946, I believe.
Was it that quick? Okay,
Yeah,
but
it
I
was
mean,
that
like,
quick. Yeah,
so by the time 1950, 1960 was rolling around, people were like, oh, we destroyed the Nazis; they don't exist anymore, even though some
well,
real ones
when
still
you
do. But
mentioned the Jewish people, I mean, during the 50s and 60s, all along after the war, they were manhunting for the Nazis that escaped. A lot of them went to
right, that's
South
what I'm saying.
America.
Didn't they? I think they finally caught like a bunch of them in South America
They might.
somewhere, like in the early '60s.
Yeah, I mean, they never caught. They know where he's buried now, where his
Yeah,
bones are and everything. I think they've exhumed the body. Charles Mangala that used to experiment on people, and they say Hitler did not die at the bunker and body was burned. That wasn't him, and that he fled to South America as a theory as well.
yeah,
So
I've heard that before. Yeah.
yeah, but there were a lot of Nazis go to like Argentina,
Mhm.
Brazil, places like that after the
Dude,
war.
like Argentina, you can still
Hey,
go
Mike.
into some of those cities and you see like where the architecture changed, and it looks like a little Bavarian village.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mm.
how the
absolutely.
fuck
Yeah.
did that shit happen?
Which Mike came in, Rex?
Mike Walters.
Hey, Mike.
Well, like
Second time I'm seeing him or saying hi to
Bamorama.
him today.
I forgot what South American country it was, but I think there's a country in South America that had a deal with Germany. Timothy Olsen said.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was a few of them. It
Yeah,
was
there was a few
Brazil.
of them.
Yeah, but Brazil I mean, they even made the movie about it, The Boys from Brazil, because
Well, we
that's
took a
where they
lot of
fought.
the Nazis and put them in our space. Scientists put it in.
Well, the scientists we took.
Mhm.
We didn't
Yeah,
take
but
the.
they still used Jewish labor and worked them to death. I mean, they didn't have their hands clean. You know.
Well, I didn't say they did, but
Yeah.
we needed a couple of Nazis to get the space program off the ground. So yeah,
Yes,
Brazil,
Kate.
Argentina is another one.
Yes,
Oh,
it's.
Kate,
I don't
love
know
to have
if
you coming.
I did send her the link over on X. It's okay, Kate. You bet.
Yeah,
Welcome
we'd
to
love
the
to have
show.
you come in. Kate.
Somebody that we never see, Mr. Squidward. I mean, without the squid hat.
Mr. Squidward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hello,
It's
Justin.
Patrick.
I didn't get the hat.
It's
What's up,
it's Patrick.
Patrick? Oh,
How's it going, Patrick?
it's going pretty
SpongeBob
good,
SquarePants.
SpongeBob. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
SpongeBob, what are you doing now?
Hey, that was pretty good.
Is that Mr.
Yeah.
Krabby Patty? Mr. Crab? I don't
No,
know.
that-
Mr. Krabs is actually the guy that was the bad guy in Highlander.
Yeah,
what's
the
his
curly.
name?
Oh,
Casey.
really? Clancy.
Yeah.
Casey?
Yeah,
Clancy,
Clancy Brown. Yeah,
Wow,
Clancy
I
Brown.
didn't know Clancy
That's,
Brown. Oh,
that's
yeah. I
so
guess I did
crazy.
know. That is crazy. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Justin, by the way, did that box ever show up for you, brother?
It did, and Rex was supposed to give my thanks over to you. So
He never did, the fucker.
But yeah, it
Oh,
showed. And I meant to try to like tell you or whatever. And I was looking through all my DMs and whatever on X, but it does really wonky stuff. Must have been a long time since we.
It was like literally a year, dude, because I meant to send it to you last Christmas, and I wrote a note on the box that said Merry Christmas, and I didn't get it out the door until this fucking Christmas.
That was
so
blame me.
I apologize, bro.
It's
blame
okay.
Me. My mind must be faulty. How's it been going, Justin?
Well,
Your
just been-
counterpart, Justin Belmont, just had a new baby.
yeah. I
Oh,
saw
dude,
that.
she's such
Yeah,
a
baby
cutie.
Emma.
Cute little
Yeah.
Emma.
She's a little dinky thing, 5 pounds, man.
Dinky thing. 5 pounds? That's a small baby.
5
Yeah.
pounds? Yeah, that's a little baby, man. My cat's
18
5
inches long.
Wow.
Yeah. So all my kids were like, I think the lowest one was 7 pounds 9 ounces or something like that, and they've all been like
Justin,
20.
I had
21
a friend. Their baby looked like Buddha when he was born. he's like grown now. He's like 6'5". I think he topped out about 6'5". But when he was born, he was 12 pounds 11 ounces.
Golly. Is he
My
skinny?
little-
Is he skinny now? Because usually that's kind of.
I
what
have not
happens.
seen him in years.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he was
okay.
about 16, but when I saw him, but he was already like 6'5", or maybe he was 18 or 19. He was, still in his teens, and but quite tall, and he was lean. Yeah, he was muscular. But,
That's generally how it happens. You got a skinny baby, they wind up being heavy when they get
well,
older.
she had toxemia, so she was bedridden the last 3 weeks rather of her pregnancy, and her ankles were this big. I mean, she was swollen up like a turnip.
So she had cankles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was. She probably had stretch marks from here to the soles of her foot. Because she was all like ballooned up. It was like, wow, Goodyear.
She looked like a Rand McNally, McNally Atlas.
My little brother was 11 too, and then
Don't
his
worry,
baby
Santa,
was
I'll
211.
explain that to you later. I'll explain that to you.
11'2", that's huge. Oh wait, no, 11 pounds.
11 pounds 2 ounces, and then his baby was 211.
2 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
preemie.
tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit!
Welcome to the show, Sophia Loren.
Ooh la la, Kate and Orlando.
Hello, darlings. Hello, Rex. Congratulations. Hello, Fanta, Shadow, everybody.
Sing happy
I haven't
birthday
talked to you in so long.
Happy
I haven't been
birthday,
around.
Mr. President.
Kate's been
That's
hiding
Maryland.
out.
That's Maryland, darling. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my bit.
Birthday.
Okay, we can have a sing off. I don't care.
Cat fight. Woo!
Have a sing off. Okay.
I just want to pop in here and say congratulations, sir.
Yay.
I'm glad to be a part of this 1,000 show.
I like your new
Glad to
icon
have
there.
you.
You gotta love Sophia, darling.
Oh,
Yeah.
beauty. Classic beauty. Classic.
Yep.
a classic Italian beauty, but so is, and I don't think of her this way, but oh shoot, what's her name? Oh, she was in Fantastic. Let me see.
Raquel Welch? Is that her?
Yeah, was it Raquel Welch?
I believe she's Italian as well.
You're correct. Well, Raquel Welch. Yeah, I
Mhm.
watched her in Bandolero. Not too
Oh
long.
yeah, I posted on her on Twitter. Yep,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
very classy ladies.
Yeah.
I'm
But I like-
Italian.
I
Are
like
you
my- I
Italian,
like-
Kate?
No, I'm Greek, darling.
Ooh,
Oh,
I got
Oh,
great
Greek
business.
descent. Okay. Yeah.
Greek
a little
goddess.
a little Mediterranean beauty going on.
I'm
Justin,
spicy, darling. Shishadow. I'm spicy.
Justin, what kind of ancestry do you have in your background? You got some Irish. You got some what? German. What you got?
So I've determined I'm I'm very Swedish, but I'm also
Okay.
yeah, I've also got English and Irish.
We were neutral.
It's very like
Neutral.
I mean, there's really not much wiggle room outside of that. I don't think there might be some native American Indian somewhere, but
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
but
I've got that.
it's really hard to
Yeah.
find it.
That one snuck in the woodpile somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I just say I'm a Heinz 57, primarily
Yeah,
native and Italian, but there's German and Irish and French and all kinds of stuff up in there.
Yeah, I don't want to do the like DNA,
No.
23andMe thing because I don't trust them.
Oh, that was all a
Yeah.
data scam.
Yeah,
They wanted
yeah.
your data.
But just from almost 58 years of living, I'm fairly certain I got a good portion of Irish and German in me
Mm.
And whiskey and bourbon. No, I'm
because
kidding.
I really like a good.
Yeah. He's 80 proof at this point. It's saturated to the bone marrow.
Dude,
Well, we're on Janae, darling.
mosquitoes don't even bite me in the summertime. They're like, nope, I can't drink and fly.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Friday night.
Crooked flying mosquitoes.
Yeah. To me, I go out and they say, belly up to the bar, boys. They're like all over me.
Oh, nice.
They're looking for Rex, dude. I mean,
Blood
he glows.
donor.
He glows in the dark. Look at him.
Right?
Right. Yeah. At that point,
He's
they
like a
become
beacon for mosquitoes.
massive.
Almost like a bug zapper without the zap.
Yeah.
Turn away from the light. I
The human bug
can't.
zapper. Yeah.
I want to say kisses, Scarlet Fever. Mwah. Kisses,
Yeah, what
darling,
was
from
that
Janae.
movie? Was it Bug's Life, where the moth is being
Oh, I
drawn
love
into
that.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
like,
like, pull out,
pull
Fred,
out,
pull out.
and he's like,
Oh, it's
I
so
can't.
beautiful.
It's-
Fred, it's
Hey,
so
hey,
beautiful.
Rex.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Rex. What do you think about Scarlet Fever's accent?
I just heard a little bit of it today on a stream. I can't even remember where she was on. I think she was on Risey's show today.
Oh, I haven't heard her yet.
Yeah, I got to hear just a little snippet, and then I had to go do the interview with Elliot Garcia. I had Elliot Garcia on recently. Do you know him,
What's he?
Justin? Have you seen his stuff?
Elliot
You mean
Garcia.
Elliot
No,
Rodriguez?
Elliot
Rodriguez. Yeah.
Come on, man.
God,
Come on,
man.
How much have you drank already there,
Look,
Rex?
How
I'm going
much
to
is
start
it?
calling you Jason.
Jeez.
Well, Rex, she does
I
have a
forgot he was
channel,
drinking
darling.
wine
so
already.
you need
Is
to
it?
check her out.
They were saying yesterday, they were saying that I guess on today's earlier stream, I said that we have a hard date for a relaunch of the campaign that you and I put together, Justin.
Yeah.
On that's still up on FOMO Comic and
relaunch?
So yeah, well, we're gonna go over to Red Valkyries again. She's gonna cosplay another character and
Oh, boy.
I've got just total
Yeah,
renewal. I still got to drop the Jimmy Reyes
Revamp
cover.
the campaign.
How's
Yeah,
he doing, by the way?
Omar.
I
Dude,
really haven't talked
I-
to him.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah, at this point, I mean that it may be the last Jimmy Reyes cover that he did for comics. I mean, he was talking about retiring, and like I don't know.
He's
I
had
can't-
some
I mean-
ups and downs on his health and
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
everything he posts now is all in Spanish, and my Spanish just ain't that good anymore for me to watch it and know what the fuck he's talking about. So
What are you talking about, Shadow?
I don't even know.
I know. I'm like, what?
He really
Hey,
knows.
Gable Penny Shot.
Hey,
you know
Cable.
that case? I never know what I'm talking about.
So I guess you, Justin, you had a great Thanksgiving, great Christmas, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the year was a very eventful year. We should, I should say, but yeah, I've just been busy living life outside the internet. It's
Yeah.
great. And what is it? What is it? Everybody kept saying, "Go touch grass."
You've
So
been touching grass. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I've been playing with the butt in the woods, yo.
You
Been playing with a butt.
In the woods.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
No, don't change it
It
now.
sounded like
I'm
you said you were
sorry.
playing with a
Mayonnaise, Rex. Mayonnaise.
I've been
Mayonnaise.
playing with
Mayonnaise.
butt. Okay. That's
Kate's
fine.
been playing with a butt
Oh.
in the woods.
Kate's got mayonnaise spray as well.
Right.
I know they got
market that
squeeze
shit.
now.
All these in jokes.
Well, now Chrome Dog, I've been dropping the link, been promoting it from time to time. Still
I
up on
appreciate
Fun
that.
My Comic. I don't know if you made any sales, but I always,
But that's okay. I mean, I did. I mean, it's on eBay right now. I've got these 3.
Oh, it's on eBay. Wow.
Yeah, all 3 of these.
Cool.
Right. So not just me, right? Not just Chrome Dog, but I've got.
Oh wow! Look at that.
I've got Richard Embry's. If you haven't picked it up yet, I got Blood and Sword, and then I've got Anthony Figaro and Mark DeJesus. God's Hand.
But now your book there is a special Arrow Comics variant. Is there a difference with the one you're selling on eBay, or is
no? This is the bundle that's on eBay right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm selling the 3 comic book bundle on eBay. Also, just the comic.
Can you put your eBay thing in the chat?
Yeah,
so people can go to it. I'd like to
put your thing in the chat. Put your thing in the chat.
Yeah.
I think I did videos for all 3 of those.
Shut up.
You probably did, and I really appreciate everything that anyone has ever done for me.
In fact, you did something about the 1000th episode today, right?
What is
it?
You did a video about this show today, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a little short. Yeah, put some stuff on there and had Celebration playing. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't asking about your height, don't think.
Kate, do you like mayo?
Whoa. So apparently in the last 24 hours, I've had 11 people view this on eBay. I don't know who has been putting it out there. That's
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Aren't you just special?
I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah, once I get
congratulations.
I'm definitely going to put up in probably on LZ and mine on my site, on eBay. Some, or at least on mine, put up some Devil Flyer momentum stuff. But
yeah. All right.
So
there it is. So hopefully people can just click the link and be like, boom, there's the item, check out and all that jazz.
Will there? I mean, are you going to go to Amazon or anything like that with it or anything, or are we just going to sell it through eBay?
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I'm selling it on eBay and it's on Fund My Comic. I don't plan on doing much in anything else with it. Until in the future, whenever there is going to be a Chrome Dog #2, or I should say a expanded trade paperback version that collects both stories. But
thank you, Agent Zero.
But that'll be.
That's what I was trying to ask you, Justin. Is if there was plans for
Yes, I would like to see it happen. I feel like I owe it because of the cliffhanger that I leave everybody on in, issue #1. But but I also I've got bigger plans for Chrome Dog outside of the visual medium. So that's all I want to say at this point. So I don't know. I feel like the pulp fiction needs to make a little bit of a comeback. You know, I think you know, I think having short form novella style, you know, reading is kind of a lost art, and I think larger print for those who can't really, you know, read well as we get older.
Oh, bless you.
Is a good thing.
Yeah,
Bless your heart.
It's just,
Bless
you know,
you.
that and
So that-
you know, art is very expensive, so I feel like, you know, but yeah.
5 items up on your YouTube channel, the 3-book bundle, your Chrome Dog just by itself, and then you have
Yep.
super powered Smash Masters board game.
Yep.
Standalone expansion.
Cool.
Not seen that.
Yep. Yeah, those are actually also on my Fund My Comic online
and Yellowstone store. Season 1. Wow. Okay.
Yep. That's a good show.
They say it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, except when they did the little hiatus in season 8 and then came back, and they had to, you know, because there was a falling out with between Kevin Costner and the production.
He's such a whiny girl.
Well, no. I mean, he actually had a legit reason. I mean, I'm on his side.
Yeah, I love Kevin Costner.
But I'm on his side in the argument. They just couldn't get it together as far as being able to keep up with his schedule, because he was like waiting for them to produce, and they weren't producing, and poor Tyler Sheridan's been just like Taylor Sheridan. I mean, it's been just like he's been overworked as far as, you know, having to do all these other shows and everything. It's all because the networks are wanting more and more content, you know, and that's kind of a rat race that a lot of us creators kind of get into, is when people really like something, they're, you know, it's like, hey, when's the next thing? Yeah, exactly. When's the next thing? It's like, cool, great. Guess what? You can't rush the good stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that I had to learn. It's a painful lesson in creating a comic book, is as soon as you're done with issue 1, someone reads the issue 1, they want that next dopamine hit, and it's like, guess what? Issue 2, I don't know when that's coming. You know what I mean? Right. It's like they want it like right then, because we live in this right now economy.
Well, even like, I mean, you know, like guys our age, or mine and Rex's age, because I think you're a little younger than us, Justin, but we grew up on monthly comics, you know, so like when you adjust to the crowdfunding, you know, concept and stuff,
right?
It's just, you know, it takes a lot longer. You don't have a whole production team and access to printing presses all over the world and all the shit that, you know, Marvel and DC do. So,
well, the thing that I've been most disappointed in crowdfunded comics, and I'm not saying that's everybody, but you know, many that I've backed myself and I've consumed, is something that I tried to avoid in my own book. Is this feeling that, you know, I wait this whole time for this one, you know, trade paperback sized, like almost book, right? And I get it, and I'm reading this story, and I'm like, okay, cool, like, and it doesn't go very far before it's over, and it's like, okay, and then I gotta wait for the next book, and it's like, okay, the next book comes, I'm like, okay, the story moves just a little bit further, and then it's over, and it's like, well, wait, where's the value here? Where back in the day, when you had those monthly comics, it was like boom, 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 boom. You know, they could get like multiple stories in the same issue. You know, I mean, Marvel Comics Presents is, I mean, people can say what they want about the format, but I love it. It's the fact that they give you 8 pages of one story, and then they'll continue that 8 pages the next month, and then they move on to a different story in that same issue.
Oh yeah, dude, I bought the I think first 150 or 175 of Marvel Comics Presents. I got a whole run of them. It's like crazy long.
Yeah, I need to collect
fun.
them.
It was a good book, man.
I got a lot of holes in that part of my collection, but I mean, okay.
Well, hit me up. I can help you out there.
So in this vein, right? I'm gonna, and I hope I don't make anyone upset when I say this, because I really think the world of a lot of the independent creators, especially the ones that helped get Image off the ground, right? And when Image when the image thing happened, like that phenomenon
Hey,
just
Mark.
took over. You know, I finally sat down and I started reading The Max. Now, the book is like, as far as visuals go, as far as the layout, the way the panels are, like it's amazing. That book, it's from cover to cover in each of the issues, Sam Keith is a genius. However, I'm 7 issues in and I'm still like, what the hell am I reading?
Oh, dude, that's the thing. I read the whole
I'm
run.
Cool with vague. I'm cool with like being vague and being just like purposefully is like, is this really what I'm seeing? Like, but like give me some kind of payoff. Don't keep me like pulling me along and then just don't pay off anything. Cause it's like, is all this in Julie's head? Is who's
I don't think that
I lost Kate.
Yeah, Kate said she'd be right. She put a message in back. She's going to get a refill.
Boring. No, I know.
Getting a
refill. She's going to grab a refill.
Water. This is just water. Friday
Straight
nights is my night for drinking, and tonight's not Friday night.
Are you still active as an admin over there at Fund My Comic behind the scenes?
I mean, I can be. Just no one ever calls upon me, right? It's like I'm kind of like I can be your hero for hire.
Well, see, that sounds like an invitation to me. And I was going to ask you this. I'll just ask you publicly, and don't feel obligated at all.
Throw me on the spot.
You're not putting you on the spot at all, Justin. Don't worry about it.
Look, I would never.
Lies, all lies.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I won't do it. Yeah. No, but
what were you going to ask me?
I was going to say, would you, when I get everything, would you put the new stuff up on the campaign one more time for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tweak and do. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Before I say yes,
and I don't need it up there till March. I don't need it up there till March.
So the trouble is Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom or lack thereof, got rid of this really cool program called 3D Paint or Paint 3D that I used to help resize a lot of those images.
Oh yeah.
And so now I don't think I have access to anything that's going to allow me to do that, and it still look decent. So it's kind of like what you're needing is someone that is going to be able to graphically change those things and so on. Unless I can figure out how to do it with whatever, because man, I think they got rid of it so that they could bring in some sort of AI garbage.
Oh yeah, probably everything is going to.
I've
been having fun with making icons and stuff like that, but. I don't know.
I'll see if the graphic designer can do it for me. She's kind of tech savvy and should be able to do that stuff. And she's going to be scanning a lot of the stuff anyway. But
as long as we can get them sized right or formatted properly.
It was kind of cobbled together the first time, and that's my fault. Right. I didn't even have high res scans of some of the stuff that we put up there, but. I feel like it's a fairly successful campaign. We've done about 3,600, and but I'm looking to totally revamp this. I've got the Jimmy Reyes cover. I've got a 9-card set. Shadowhawk, did you like my idea of like doing 9 cards, but have one character on one side and one character on the next on the back?
I mean, yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah, just doing the 9-card set, but it has 2 characters on one card.
Well, I mean, you've got enough characters already in your universe where you can do that. Like a lot of people would probably be stretching it with 9. On their first,
and I've done enough art, recently of different characters that some of my art can be done, and then of course I've got other stuff that Dillard's done and Ryan James has done, and
you got quite a few that you've done.
That's what I was saying.
No reason not to make those.
This is going to be one of them. The one I did on Topicless last night of Cortex.
Dang.
That
cool.
he's like a living brain, enhanced brain in an android body. But that's do you remember that What If story where Reed Richards was nothing but a brain?
I missed that one.
No.
Okay, all right, that's fine. It was yeah. It
Yeah, I
was
missed that one too, dude.
well, it was an early What If. It was like what if the Fantastic Four had. And see, you're not a big Fantastic Four fan, Shadowhawk, but
I didn't even know it existed.
No, I'm not.
but I know you like What If. So, but
Yeah,
Kate, get back in here with your bad self.
so we can
We
shush her.
Kate, come back.
So we can shush you. Yes.
That's right. She needs a good shushing. It's been a while.
Maybe come back.
Shushing with the shusher.
We need some female representation. You know, look, you can always, I've always said, you can look around and see a situation worse than your own if you're going through a hard time, through loss or tragedy or whatever. Look at Stato. You know, look at Stat. He's streaming right now, doing a stream. He's been posting at least twice on Twitter, you know, at the start of the day and at the end of the day, and even more than that, maybe. He's you know, going through some grief right now after his wife was killed in an accident.
Oh my God.
But I didn't know if you knew that,
terrible.
Justin, but
Oh.
yeah.
Well, somebody else just lost their wife too to cancer. Yeah, we had.
Oh, I can't think now.
That wasn't
Shit.
Mike, was it? Mike
Mike.
Mahan? Because I know
No.
his wife.
No, it was,
No.
David Williams.
Yeah, David Williams.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he just lost his wife to cancer, bro.
I don't
man.
remember. I
Fucked up.
don't know if I know David or not.
David Williams.
You
That's
don't know David Williams?
yeah, you know, on Graybeards, he's one of the regulars that draws on there.
Yeah,
Brohawk.
I don't watch that.
Yeah,
so-
Brohawk.
Oh, yeah, Brohawk. Yeah. He's okay. Do you remember you oh boy, here we go. This is gonna get me in trouble. You know
That's
me.
all right. You'll be here today,
But
gone tomorrow.
so you yeah, right.
D-Lambs, yeah.
You remember Truth, Justice, and American Way? The Gabe El Taib book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
remember
right.
that.
Oh, that's right.
So it started out like, okay, here's some story time, kids. So back when I first entered the CG scene, that was like fresh. It was like brand new, and you know, like Gabe was here, there, and you know, everywhere, and he was promoting his book and was on with EBS and all this other stuff. And and so I would and he would come on the Kings and all that stuff, and I wanted to back it, but every time I went to do it, I was like, I don't know. And I didn't have any reference or any frame of reference for this, but I just didn't. It was almost like I was hindered, or I didn't feel like I should, or whatever. And then as time went on, it come to light that there was beef between him and David Williams, who they were both like co-creators on this book together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be David Williams' art. And a lot of stuff was going down with his David's wife at the time, and there was story stuff happening between the two. Yeah, not like I'm going to give the abridged version because it's, you know, I'm
right
getting it like third hand at this point. But the idea, the whole idea is that whatever happened, it caused major friction between those two creative entities, and I think they even got legal with it. And as far as I remember, David just like walked away from the project altogether. And so Gabe was kind of left trying to, you know, scramble and get it, you know, get that book released, which I guess he did eventually get it out there, and I'm sure he's got other stuff going on, whatever. But that's how I even, you know, come to find out about.
So addendum to that story, I did end up backing it, and I did get the book that Gabe decided he was going to draw himself because he wanted to keep all the money from the book at that point. And Gabe's not a bad artist, don't get me wrong. He's a much better colorist. But it was not anything compared to what Brohawk, you know, David would have done.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, and the worst part about it is, you know, he had just found out about his wife. They were dealing with all this. They didn't know what was coming in the future.
Yep.
And Gabe was just kind of being a prick with David did, and being, like, well, that's all, well and good, but what about the book? You got to get some pages. And it's like, bro, I can't even think about John right now. I might be losing my wife. Can you back up for a minute?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the dirty secret of crowdfunding, is that while the crowdfunding is happening, there's so much pressure on us. I'm sure, Rex, you feel it too.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're just like, you want to get this thing done. You want to get it done right, and you want to get it into the backer's hands as soon as possible. But the one thing that I can tell you, on being on this side of a completed and fully fulfilled campaign, is that as soon as the campaign is over with, nobody cares. Nobody wants to buy your book. They don't care nothing about seeing your book. They don't this or that or whatever. And this isn't just me whining. This is just me saying, hey, if I say, hey, this book exists, you can buy it here, there, whatever, people are rarely ever going to buy it, but they'll be real quick to back it because they want to be part of the process of creating it. But you better not be late. Yeah. You better not be late, and you better not have any issues that might take you away from producing that book, because if you are, buyer beware, and then the trolls will be at the gates on you.
It'll be like Frankenstein at the windmill, right?
But I mean, but however, I do want to say this. As long as you're always trying to update and let people know that you're still around and that you're still producing the book and that everything's hunky dory, you're not going to have people at your throat.
That's exactly what I was
Stuff
just going to say.
Life happens. You just need to communicate.
Yeah. But if you stay open with it, and
exactly.
I mean, Rex brought up a really good example earlier when he was interviewing Elliot Rodriguez. Professor Murph with War Party, he was going to put out this big ass trade paperback, and it was just taking him too long to finish. So he broke it up into, I think he sent out 3 or 4 issues initially, and then the 5th and 6th issue, 7th issue, came later as he worked on them. But it actually worked out really well for him, man. I mean, if you look at the numbers he had when he ended the campaign, and then once he changed his fulfillment style, a lot more people backed that book, man. He made a shit ton of money after the fact.
Well, that's good, and I think, and the other thing is that sometimes our personalities don't quite, I'm not someone like EBS. I'm not someone that's that outgoing and just gonna
you're bubbling as effervescence.
Only when I'm drunk. Only when you get a couple of beers in me, or
have one then. I mean, you extrude charisma. I mean, the squid hat. You had me at the squid hat. I mean, this guy's off the chain, folks. He's
okay. Here's the secret, Justin. Just stay drunk all the time.
No, yeah, no.
That doesn't work for me or my wife, right? Or family.
No, that's definitely not that would not be a thing. That would go over about like a wet fart. I mean, seriously.
Hell Hydra. Anyway, we were talking about that earlier, Justin. Why the hell? And I know this is old news.
I should come with a warning label. No one ever take advice from Shadow.
Captain America. I've been taking advice from you for you. Maybe that's why my life is so screwed up. Anyway,
we can't.
Why did they make Captain America part of Hydra? A Nazi after all those years. I mean, it didn't make sense whatsoever with all the stories that they told and the patriotic stories and stuff. And it's like, why do they even choose to do that? That's just no build up, just you're nuking Hiroshima just for the sake of nuking Hiroshima.
Well, didn't that originate in a what if story anyway? And then they
probably some of their better
they went back to that and they were like, hey, we're going to subvert audience expectations and do this thing.
And characters. I mean, the first female Thor was in What If. The Spider Girl was first in What If. 105. A lot of these things come out of the imagination of the what if stories. The
Sure.
Red Hulk first came out of that too. I think it was like, what if I've got a couple of pages of the original art in there. What if Thunderbolt Ross became the Hulk? You know, it winds up that Bruce Banner puts a bullet in his cranium when he's Thunderbolt Ross, and that stops the Hulk at the end of the story. Spoilers, folks. Sorry about that. That was a 90s comic.
I'll never.
But that kind of foreshadowed him becoming the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you see the movies, Justin, do you think that people? I think they're kind of superhero. They're still like that type of stuff. It can be entertaining, but since the quality is so bad, like Wonder Woman 84 on the CG, or you know, we're going backwards. You know, when it comes to the special effects in some of these movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also comes down. I think the executives have lost the plot, right? So when you have, and of course, you know, when you have it's kind of like what I was saying earlier, this drive for the next hit, the next hit, the next hit, you know, the next, you know, give me that dopamine, you know, give me that next rush, give me that next thing. Especially, I've noticed this with the DC movies. They look at it and they're like, okay, cool, this is an action scene, but there's no heart to it. So it's like, okay, so I've got like, I'll give you a great example was Black Adam. Okay. That movie could have been good if we cared about the characters.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, so I can't give an opinion, but
did you
know, the main thing with the casting?
No, I didn't watch. I honestly, I gave DC movie universe, whatever you want to call it, a chance with Green Lantern, which I really hated. It had such it had such potential, man, and
it wasn't that bad.
It was great, and I mean,
it was fun, but it had way more potential, man. They fucked up the Hal Jordan character really bad. It was just
like what I mean, what about it? What about him? I mean,
because Hal is only. I mean, maybe it was just bad casting. Maybe it shouldn't have been Ryan, because
I think that's it.
So much of a comedian. I mean, Hal Jordan. That was my first comic I ever had a subscription to when I was 10 years old. You know, I was like, Hal was a serious dude, man. You know, he had a
no nonsense.
He always kind of doubted himself. You know, he didn't know if he deserved to be a Green Lantern or not, so he was always working extra hard when it came down to it. So,
well, I mean, I feel like Ryan Reynolds, he pulled that off, and it wasn't as slapstick. He's witty. He's just witty as a person. So I mean,
well, I just, you know, it was just a little too much leaning into the smart assiness, you know.
Okay.
Which is right.
I think they do that a lot these days with a lot of different movies. You know, you want the snappy quips, and you know, who was the guy that was known for that? Is that Johnson? No, the director. He was the guy that.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon, yeah, he's the one that invented this whole.
Snappy. I mean, the Avengers, right? Both the Avengers and the Age of Ultron, like those two movies. I mean, Joss Whedon. I mean, he made those movies, and it worked.
and it was actually fun. But I mean, I've seen him do other stuff where it's just it doesn't make sense for the movie for the characters to be having this snappy repartee, you know, while they're trying to avoid being eaten by zombies or whatever. You know, doesn't make sense.
But you will say this, that like in horror movies, you need those lighter moments to release the tension to set you up.
If you go, you know, straight dark through the whole thing, it just it gets really heavy, and even if it's a short movie, you know, 90 minutes or 120 minutes or something, it will still seem long because you just don't have any emotional break. You know, you don't lighten up. It's just
right. Yeah. Well, and my just to kind of come back to Black Adam, the movie like in overall wasn't bad.
Mhm.
And I feel like one they bring in too many characters. They have a tendency to shove all these different characters, and it's like, cool. Why can't we just tell a story of like hero, villain, save? You know, you can make a complex plot without having like all these other characters come in and just kind of like do the thing. It's like
Sure, yeah.
there were moments it's like, okay, is this Black Adam's movie or is this Dr. Fate's movie? Like, whose movie is this, right? And they actually they
Wow,
could have
Dr.
ended it.
Fate was in there. How did he look?
Yeah. I
Was
mean,
he-
it was Pierce Brosnan. I think they did a really. I mean, he was great.
I
He
mean,
had
did,
I
did
heard
he
he
look
was the
good
high
though? The,
point of it.
the costume
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah, the costume was great. But
Ah,
I
sure.
heard
I might have to
I
go
heard
back and
good
watch
things
that.
about his character.
there
in
was
that.
three. There was the problem I have, like the main problem, is there were 3 points. There were 3 endings in that movie, and they just kept going. It was like they tied it up to this one conclusion, and you're like, cool, roll credits, and they're like, nope, we've still got another 15 minutes, and then
Not
we're gonna end
quite
it.
yet.
And then they get to that other part, and you're like, okay, cool, this feels like it's over. It's like, and then we got another 15 minutes. It's like, what?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm like, why? You could, I mean, you
Subverting
had a,
your expectations of a good ending.
but
Well, you might have had a good beginning for the sequel, right? If you didn't fuck up an ad.
exactly, because I mean, they tied it up. Would have been great, especially if they did some, some follow up movie where it was Shazam, versus Black Adam. That would have been like killer.
That would have been cool. I thought I was hoping
especially-
they were gonna do, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The dude that played Shazam, he seems like really
Hey,
likable
Ozzy.
guy. Very
Yeah.
nice, what have you.
Yeah, Zachary Levi.
Yeah, but I just never was a big
Levi,
fan of Shazam, even back when I was a kid. It
Yeah.
just wasn't my thing. So I wasn't doing that. And then Black Adam, I would have probably maybe checked it out, but then they fucking cast The Rock. And
Yeah, but
I've
the
seen
great casting though. He looked like
I
Black
did.
Adam.
You
That
know
was
what?
the whole
I've
thing.
watched the fucking Rock make his fucking little chest muscles dance for the last fucking 30 years now, and I'm fucking sick of it.
Well, the thing
That's all he does. He
the thing that
doesn't.
annoys me-
He's always the same guy.
Yeah. Well, what annoys me about The Rock is that I remember early in his career, he was way more humble and nice, right? He was a nice guy when
Yeah,
he was
now
coming
he's a
out of
prick.
wrestling. And now he's a straight up like egomaniac, I'm the shit
Mhm.
and I belong here. That kind of like
Right.
it's
Yeah, he
like,
thinks he's like some kind of great actor or something now. and
go,
it's like-
Well, now there were actors that are good character actors. I say good, not great, but maybe some great ones too. They played the same character. They played themselves basically.
yeah.
I don't know
Well,
if that's
but
what he's
if
doing.
if that's applied right in a movie, and especially when you're like a backup character, a character role like in a buddy film or whatever,
Yeah.
Hey,
that
Elmer.
that can work
Hello,
out really
everyone.
well depending on who's writing the story. But The Rock he just doesn't have any other acting style. He's always going to be The Rock.
The
Yeah.
Rock.
Only the scenery and the costume changes. Other than that, it's still him.
I mean, I think there was one movie that
Hey, Omer.
there was one movie that he was in that I feel like he did kind of try to get into that character. And again, it's one of those things that was like early in his career in movies, and that was Walking Tall. Like he
You know
he
what?
felt like Buford was it P. Tussey or whatever?
Yeah.
Buford Pusser. Yeah.
I
Pusser,
forgot
yeah.
about that one, but you know what? Now
Yeah.
that you mention it, that was actually one of the few Rock movies that I've
I mean,
liked.
And I
that
think
one-
that's
that
one of
one
the
and the-
few I haven't seen. Really.
And the rundown, he in that one, I felt like he nailed the character in that one too, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but he was that. I think that was kind of the beginning of his The Rock movie character. He
Dwayne
wasn't
Johnson
the-
deserves an Oscar for Black Adam. Come on, guys.
No, fuck off.
Oh my! Let me see. Let me see.
I'll let you best.
I'm feeling warm all over. I would kick him.
Okay.
And he just got here.
Hi, Walter.
Hey, Lily. What's up, buddy?
Justin, good to
Don't
meet you,
worry.
sir.
I told
you too.
Rex he was a fucker.
Well, you know. Hey, but he can draw.
Laughing at my
That's
drawing.
not nothing. I mean, that's Rex, love him or hate him, the dude can draw. So
Yeah, he can.
That's what I
Nah,
keep telling him. And
you
he's
know I
doing
love
color
him.
now too. So
yeah.
hell yeah.
He
And he's
draws,
wearing-
he writes, he fucking, he slices, he dices, he
I'm
marinates.
I'm from Ronco.
He
It's,
knows how to use a computer now.
it's the
What are,
Rex.
you, what are you, the pocket fisherman? What?
It's the
Oh, I
Rex
had one of
Christian.
those and left it on the bank and didn't go back for it.
The Rex
God damn it.
Christian Pocket Publisher. Everything.
Oh my gosh.
Justin, you
Oh.
haven't seen some of my more recent work, so I'm going to go in there and get it. And
Oh boy, here we go.
and
Show and tell.
okay,
time.
well, I won't.
No, I
Dun,
want you to.
dun,
Go
dun.
ahead.
Tell, baby.
I don't
Show
have a
and
lot.
tell.
I don't have a lot of time left, so let's go. Bring it.
Okay, all right.
Let's
all right.
go.
Yeah.
I have a
I
time limit. So
Okay, I can't. I thought you might, and thank you for coming.
Rex,
You really
go
don't
be
do.
great. Come on, go
I'll,
get.
I'll see. I'll
that-
see enough of it. I'm sure as I process
He
your.
just can't help himself.
Jason's
It's
got to
so
go
funny.
back to real life. He's got to get off
Hey.
the internet.
it's
Welcome to the
professor
show,
of
John Dillard.
See, I
Dog
told you he
Studies.
can't help himself.
Hey, what's going on,
Dylan?
guys?
What's up?
Hey,
What's up,
Mr.
guys?
Dillard, how are you, sir?
Hey, last night the fight was horrible, Dillard.
I'm
I
alright.
was on your side, bro.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what
Were
fight?
you
I
on my
missed it.
side?
What fight are we
It seems
fighting?
everywhere I go, people are saying they were on my side, except for in the voting booth, they weren't on
I
my
voted
side.
for you, man. I
Oh,
was,
the cockfight on Dark Gift last
yeah,
night.
they're swinging their big cocks around. It's like,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at
No,
my-
I
look at my
haven't done the
character.
rewatch yet. What'd you draw, Dillard?
Ghost Rider.
Drew his ass off.
Oh, dude, I'm sure you fucking killed it.
The only thing is he didn't finish. That's why he lost.
He did.
He didn't finish an arm
How
that
did
looked
you
like a
not finish,
penis.
Mister?
Oh, it was,
It's because he didn't want to go up against EBS, so he like
they
let the
added
other
three
guy win.
characters. It was three characters. in total.
EBS ain't going on a show, dude. EBS, I mean,
I
he can
redrew
do a
Ghost
drawing
Rider
contest,
today.
but he can't draw. He can't draw a Cyber Frog in an
Oh,
hour.
what?
He just can't do it.
You
Dude,
did the.
ow.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Is that
What?
your pick from last night, bro?
No, I drew this morning.
What?
Holy shit, that's nice.
Man.
Last night I drew it digital.
Zane
He
could
wanted to
probably
do
draw
digital.
better.
Golly.
Oh, you're gonna put this up on one of the auctions, Dillard?
No, I put it up on Twitter. I
Oh,
said
okay.
it's for sale if you want it. DM me.
That's
Cool.
what's up.
Ah, dude, I just have such a hard time buying Marvel and DC characters anymore. I'm all indie, man. I don't buy anything. I even have a hard time with back issues that I want. Like there's Werewolf by Nights and shit that I want, and it's just like, do I want to spend the money on that, or do I want to back somebody that's fucking new? You know?
Well, I mean, vote with your.
See, I don't
wallet.
have that problem because I kind of feel like there's not that many people worth backing at any given point.
I did.
I mean,
I'm not
Like
done.
every
I'm not
time, like
done.
like put it this way, like every month, right, or every 2 weeks when you get paid, kind of take a look at the landscape, and be like, is there anything I really want? Maybe not this time, you know.
I just go month by month. You know, like whoever launches campaigns, like in January, February, whatever, and I'll look through them and see if there's anybody I want to back. And most of the time, there's at least one or two every month that I want to back. You know, I mean, every once in a while you get one of those months where it's just like, yeah, I don't like any of this.
Did you tell everyone that you're working on comic book right now to publish Shadowhawk?
No,
What?
because it's on the download, you fuckhead. No,
Oh, come on. It's not that down.
No.
It's not that
Nobody
low.
has
No,
to know.
I have a story that I wrote where Omer Glitch decided to turn my icon / presence on the internet into a superhero called Battlehawk, and did a
Let me
couple
whip
of
it out.
sketches of it and stuff. Show it if you can, Omer.
Yeah, I'm
Come on,
gonna
whip it out.
do a
Draw.
So-
Show, don't tell. Draw.
Yeah. So
Draw,
I've
monkey,
had
draw. Draw, monkey, draw.
Draw
my
the thing.
stories usually come to me in dreams. I've had one that's been a recurring nightmare, really, for like quite a long time. and once I saw Omer's version of the
Oh,
Battle
look
Hawk
at that.
character, it kind of all gelled together. So yeah, I got it. It'd probably be like an 8-9 page action.
Is this the same guy? This guy looks awful.
No, this is Meathead. This is Will Perdomo and JP Krieger.
Oh, okay. I was like, God damn, what happened to his face?
No, it's
Poor
not the same
Hawk.
guy.
And here's some boobies.
No, that's it. That's what he looks like under the mask, dude.
Here's some boobies.
Those are always a people pleaser right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been putting some more people pleasers
Rockers.
in my book as well. Yeah.
Hong Kong.
Nothing wrong with knockers. You can't go wrong.
Auga.
Sex appeal sells, right?
Hell yeah.
I,
How you
Oh, yeah,
doing,
sure.
Justin? I haven't
That's
seen you in
fine.
a while.
Yeah, well, I have not made it out in a while. This is actually the okay. Confession.
Dude, what was that one you just
This is
had
the
up there?
first show I've been on and or done anything since April.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not me then, it's you.
No, it's totally me. You know, people have seen me in chat here, there, rarely, but yeah, I'm just out here living life, man. Just doing the day job thing.
living the dream.
I
Still
get
sounds
All right,
somebody's
I don't know if
dream.
I asked you before or not, Justin. What do you do for a day job? If you can say without, getting yourself in trouble.
I won't. I shouldn't get in trouble. I'm not a incendiary person online.
I don't think so, but dude, you
Well,
just
no,
never know.
I work for
CSI
yeah, nice.
agent.
I work hence Agent Zero, right? But no, I work for an e-commerce company. We sell we sell computer electronics.
Oh, okay.
Keyboard,
cool.
Like a
Yeah.
computer keyboard.
You secretly work for TikTok? It's cool.
Nice. Yeah, no.
So are you actually sales, Justin, or are you like more support, like tech support guy?
I'm not customer facing. I'm more like the back end. So I'm
Okay, yeah. So
do
you're more
everything.
tech support, more operations, right?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
like-
I would say that's definitely the. What is she
Okay.
shooting at? Is she shooting at my? What is that?
Junk.
She's
Yeah.
shooting at,
You're
she is shooting at your
Johnson.
peen, for sure.
You're Johnson.
That's why I
After
asked.
Justin Johnson.
He showed me this last night, and I was like, "Dude, is she shooting my dick?"
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna compete with Cecil's dick off, literally.
Nice.
Yeah. It's holy shit.
Here's the Jay Krieger drawn interior again, although it's switched up a little
Crap.
bit like this. Going to put it
I'm
in
gonna have to drop out and come back in a minute, boys.
okay.
How
The
come Kreger
horse.
didn't put her in the bra like the other drawing and the one I did?
I didn't want that. I wanted a little bit
Oh.
more class. I mean, that was something that was added by George Peter Gaddis, and
Oh, okay. I didn't realize she actually wore a shirt.
it modernized her. Well, she had like a tied off thing on the
Yeah,
original
tight
drawing.
top.
Hmm.
Like Daisy Duke.
Now she does time travel to the present and then go back to the past, so she can bring some modern sensibility to her thing, But she's going to have different costume changes over time,
Cool.
different styles.
As it happens. Oh no, we lost Shadow.
Yeah, Memorial Park. That's a good one coming down the pike for Memorial Park. Levi and JD. I'm looking forward to that book.
Yeah,
Good premise for a book.
I'm working with those guys to try to get that in ship shape. That's the only thing I've been working on. So
Really, you're helping out Levi and JD?
yeah. I'm kind of I'm telling them, don't say I'm the editor.
Right.
Because you guys are pretty much already done with the book as far as like what you're doing, so I'm just working as a copy editor, so I'm kind of looking over the way basically just trying to find typos and things, and maybe where there could be more words here there, but not to actually like change the flow of the panels. It's like I'm not editorial.
Here's
So,
a Levi's Silverbug character, a little bit redesigned to keep her a little.
Hey, Mark.
sexy.
Hey guys, happy 1000th episode.
Appreciate it. I was waiting on
Yes,
my thumbnail.
congrats.
You did one for 800, 900, but you left 1,000 just hanging. I was like, yeah, I thought you'd come through for me, but no.
I
there you go.
said-
There you
said,
go, John.
no way. I said
Oh, there you go.
800 doesn't put it up. 900 doesn't put it up. I'm not doing it.
Hey, I got I got up 900. 800 was like, I had to figure out how it was formatted a little wonky.
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance
Nice.
to. I should have done one though.
Levi's
A big deal.
We can
Clockwork
we can
Commando,
do it.
Justin.
We can do it retro.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I want to show
Mhm.
I want to show Justin because he's been out of the scene for a little bit. I've been doing head sketches that are like 4x6. There's
Really
Lady
gonna
Bob.
try to
She's-
show anything with that camera?
It's the connection.
I'll
I'm
just
pretty
hold
sure
it
it's
up
the
there
connection.
longer.
Yeah.
I pay dearly for that potato cam.
It's a-
Homer Glitch is very happy that I'm working in
Oh,
color.
nice.
Color of light.
I know a clitoris when I see one.
Oh, wow, yeah. I've often thought
Now wait a
that
minute. Wait a
about-
minute. Those are the same photo.
I've often thought that about my work.
Just kidding. So one of those is the bog, right? Or all three of them?
These all, are different
Okay.
iterations of Bog. Now this is
Okay.
Geo here.
It's all
Give
just a
one that.
bunch of H.R. Geiger nonsense.
Nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's got the female bog going too.
What in the
Yeah, Boggett.
yeah? That's a-
Mhm.
Yeah, Boggett, right. Yeah. Well,
That-
I think you had
The
a
bog
bullet.
drops.
You had a bulleteer, right, or something? No, it wasn't bulleteer. It
Swamp
was
loads in her.
nice.
a,
He looks like he's ready to blow.
Bucklet. You got the Bucklet, John.
Did you see my
What in the
Ghost Rider
world?
I did, Rex?
Is that Rorschach? Rorschach?
Yeah, I just it's similar to that, right?
Yeah.
So
This looks like Bog in a car.
Pixel.
yeah,
Love it.
pixelated potato cam.
I mean, I think you have to try to make it look like that. This day and age, it's like, pixel filter.
It's
Let's
really
go.
not that hard. Yeah.
You go to your settings, go to camera, and it says resolution. Just change it to better than what it is.
Oh, sure.
Well,
Sure.
Yeah, he's got a worse. or
I
the
need a
worst.
friend. I need a friend.
It's that awesome Arkansas internet.
Man, could be.
Yeah.
That's
My
funny.
Yeah,
favorite.
you gotta
Bugs
stop
Bunny
spending all
joke.
your money on gigantic, hilarious coffee mugs and get a better internet connection.
Amen to that.
Or a Ryan James T-shirt.
Oh yeah, whatever
Hey.
happened to that guy?
Yeah, I know, right? What's he
He's
doing?
still
What's he up
around,
to?
and he may do the black and white version to Octagon. Here's his
Is he
t-shirt.
Octo gone?
He is gone. Yeah.
Sorry.
He was kind of doing that when, he was a lighter for camera for out there in Hollywood, right? For movies.
A lighter.
His grandfather was too. He did lighting, and
okay.
and they were on strike at the time, and he's been through the ringer of late, but he's doing a lot better. I've actually communicated with him recently over the phone, and I haven't talked to him, but we've texted,
Yeah.
and I've always sent him if I see something.
You're always
about
talking about how you spend hours on the phone with people. Like, did you ever get anything done other than just being on the phone?
yeah, sometimes,
And then people tell me, "Oh yeah, Rex was on the phone with me for hours." I was like, "Damn,
Yeah, well, it is.
you're a talker, Rex."
Yeah, that's true.
Hey Dillard, have you seen Rex's Daily Show? It's at 4:00 every day. He's only missed 16 days in the last 3 years.
17.
Oh, 17 days.
Yeah. And most of that was during the pandemic year,
He talks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Chatty Cathy. Over 1,800 videos up right now, which is pretty phenomenal.
Rex is on the road to 500. If you haven't subscribed, please like, share, follow, and subscribe Rex as we get him closer to 500. He's
Getting
currently
close,
at,
yeah, 457
540,
right now.
57. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, share, subscribe now.
Rex, I did work.
You're never gonna get to 500. You keep talking over Omer's pitches of your channel.
I did, Rex. I did work up a screen for your 1,000th episode. Though.
Holy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wowzers.
Oh, old man Rex, right?
Wowzers.
I'm
Heard that
sharing
in a
it.
while.
I don't
Is
know
that
if it's
is that
coming
going to be
through.
like in the old west when they just
As
slay
opposed to Hot Young
body
Stud
in a
Rex?
coffin?
You can share. There you go for your 1,000,000th episode.
Holy
It looks like Einstein.
He's got hair.
Yeah, he tends to. He decides to grow it out later on. I think.
Yeah. Well, now they say your hair follicles and your nails and all like that continue to grow after you passed away.
I mean, I don't know.
A
Tyler's
fallacy.
don't have many follicles that'll keep growing.
Actually, the skin just goes back, and it looks like the nails are longer and the hair.
Oh, okay. All
But they
right.
don't actually grow.
Yeah.
No, but I think your ears and your nose, like they keep.
They never stop growing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, Eagle Rider came on here and said she's got a rare condition where her breasts keep growing.
Of course, Eagle
inside.
Rider has another rare condition.
Yeah, of course. She's an anomaly all in herself. Yeah. An enigma wrapped in a paradox. Something like
Well, somebody needs to study that for scientific purposes.
Oh my gosh!
that. Yeah.
They need to become a boat expert at motorboating.
Nice.
I'm sure somebody will get right on that. And I'm
They'll,
sure-
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
where's
Justin,
TJ at?
you're
TJ will get on that.
disillusioned. You're just living you're living the dream. You're just
That's a good word. I
you
like
know,
that word.
You're not living your
Disillusion.
life vicariously on the internet anymore.
Pretty much.
You are rarer than gold in the deep dark earth, in the bowels of the earth.
Well, the spell was broken, man. I had it, I was convinced of certain things and whatever, and just I don't know. As
Did the
as time
internet
went
break
on.
you? Did the internet break you?
No, but
What were these things that were dispelled, sir?
Say,
Please.
Did comics break your heart, kid? Is that what happened?
elaborate.
well, I mean, it just there were a lot of things that happened. It was kind of a confluence of events, but I think the real topper was definitely Ed Piskor's passing.
That was awful. Yeah.
That kind of like shook me awake. I was like, you know what? Like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? It's like, here's a guy who spent his entire, existence creating comic books, honing his craft. He finally, had a chance to do something big. And because of, you want to talk about baseless accusations, because a little whiff of something goes, viral on.
Did he really though
on
spend his
internet.
entire life making comic books? I mean, other than that shitty hip hop fucking book.
Well, that's what
Did he
his,
really-
his focus was.
But here's the
because that's what he
thing.
loved.
He spent his entire life focused on honing his craft, okay, and actually like work, like
Really,
doing the
homie?
work.
I don't know. His art was kind of shitty to me. I'm
Well-
just being contrarian, guys. I'm just playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I mean,
Man, what a fucking dickhead you have on here, Rex.
Yeah.
Kick this motherfucker.
Sorry. No, I like this.
Nah.
guy. He's all right.
I was shook too. I literally found myself in that same kind of place of going, if suddenly I couldn't work on the stuff I want to work on, what else is there? It was disturbing. It was disturbing, and it was a feeding frenzy, just a tiny little bit of bait in the water, and they devoured them. Awful.
and so I looked around and I was like, why am I being ambitious for something like that? Like why should I strive for excellence in a world that would turn on you in a dime and just like tear you to pieces? And I also noticed there were certain creators in the space that were biting and devouring each other. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, it's like, I don't even know why I thought that I could be part of this. So I'm just, and so I owe it to my current readers and anyone else that decides to pick up Chrome Dog to create that issue number 2 eventually, have it produced, right? I would love to see Luke draw it, and us like create the book, get it made, get it out there to folks, and then just take my characters and do something else with them that will be, more, and I'll just leave the internet out of it, right? And just build from a small, base and use my own talents instead of trying to be someone that I'm not. Because an internet personality, I am not. I'm not wired this way. It takes a lot of energy for me to be on.
It's everybody. It's not just you.
Why'd you get rid of that guy and then bring in Shadowhug?
Where did he just leave? Like,
I didn't kick him. No.
All right,
all that
Make
makes
sure
sense,
it was
Kelly.
all just a coincidence. Yeah.
It's that Arkansas internet that we're always praising.
well, but yeah.
So what I mean, let's say you got Chrome Dog 2 in the can. How do you market that? Do you crowdfund it? Do you go directly to eBay with it? Do you go to Amazon or other avenues or what?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Are you still doing the 5 spinner racks?
No, because those don't make. I mean, there's there's nothing in it to do it, and there's not enough. I don't have enough product to get out there on the rack, and it's.
Right.
I've got the one at the grocery store, but there's no one producing floppies to put on it. Outside of Alterna Comics, which I mean, I can only
Splato Comics. He does some floppies.
Does he?
Yeah.
He did.
Well, he's done a couple. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
he doesn't.
The thing is, but are they kid friendly? Because that's the thing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, because this, and I can only sell the same comic to the same group of people in my community. If I could buy a bunch more, alternative.
Here's an idea I've had for a while, Justin, and I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm not sure where you're at, but if weed is legal in your state, I would look at putting some spinner racks in some dispensaries.
Yeah, I tried that.
And then, did you?
They didn't sell, or actually,
really,
they sold, right? But then the guy, see, that was something else that really got me. It was last year, coming up to Christmas, right? It was around the time. Let's see, it was around the time I was fulfilling Chrome Dog, if I remember right.
Okay.
I called the guy and I was like, hey, just checking, I've got some comics to go ahead and, fill up your rack again, this or that. And he's like, get back to me after the first of the year. So I was like, cool. So when I did, crickets, like he wouldn't even answer my call. He wouldn't,
really?
whatever. And then when I finally did nail him down, he was like, yeah, no, we're not interested. And I was like, and I bit off the hunk already. So like I went ahead and bought the inventory. So I'm stuck with it. So I was like, you know what? None of it's not worth it. Like none of this is worth it for me. So I'm like, you know what? I'll tell my stories at a tabletop. We'll play RPGs, cause that was my original inspiration anyway. And I'll use that to kind of like fuel my, the writing part of me to just get me to, put down the info, and then I'll write novels, or, I'll find some other avenue. But, being an indie comics creator who doesn't draw is a difficult endeavor.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I've kind of come to realize. And as much as I would like to learn how to draw, it's starting at the beginning now in my life is like, if I'm not already an artist, I don't really want to start.
So. All right, well, thanks for helping out so I don't waste money. I thought for sure I was going to buy a couple of spinner racks and go to the dispensaries, man, and start.
I mean, hey, go for it. I mean, again, I'm in a rural area, if you're in more of a city place, you might see some success.
And if you
but
put them at
the trouble
dispensaries, I
is,
think that'd be a
I
great.
mean, I'm within
drop,
driving distance of the city.
the trouble the trouble is being able to get them at wholesale, right? Get those comics at wholesale and to be able to sell them, to get to be able, if you're gonna, like, if the store owner wants to do consignment and maybe pay you for the comics that get sold, and you get to keep the excess on top of the wholesale, that's a better deal than than what I was able to get. Because for me, it's it's pennies on the comic for me to do it here locally.
Yeah.
And it's just unsustainable, and I'm not, nice. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing daggum match books. I need Chrome Dog match books.
Yeah, and he's got coasters too.
Love it. Yeah.
Or a Chrome Dog matchbox.
Nice.
A little card. That'd be cool.
That'd be funny. Yeah. Or I was thinking about doing Keshis and stuff. But so to answer your question, how am I going to fund my books from now on? Probably funding from something else, like taking raising the capital.
That's profitable.
Correct. Raising the capital, like from over here, using that capital to fund and creation of the book. Whether it's a comic book, like I said, I'm going to complete the story that I started with Chrome Dog #1, but then move into, probably an enlarged novel format where, larger pages probably have like a really cool splash page every chapter. It's like an idea that I have, and give it to people in like more like a novella form, so that they get, it's almost like an episodic sort of story that they'll have some visual representation in the book, but it's not going to be a traditional comic book. It'd be more like a Pulp Fiction style is what that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing with Chrome Dog and his friends. But again, the main thing is that not being an artist, art is, I am one of those that feels that artists who draw other people's books are grossly underpaid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, and it's not worth it. I would much rather pay. I mean, I would love to be able to pay more, because they're worth more each page, because it's a lot of work to go from top left to bottom right.
But some guys don't want to do that, dude. I mean, no matter how good of an artist they are, they want to just get that steady paycheck. They don't want it to all be on them,
Right. Well, and the other thing that has bothered me in the community is a lot of these other creators that are just writers and are like bringing together the creative teams. They don't give credit to their teams. They take all the credit to say, yeah, this is my book. They rarely ever mention their artists or any of that stuff. And I've never made it a secret who draws my stuff, who colors my stuff, who actually makes my stories come to life on a page. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and that's only common courtesy, man. I mean, that's
It occurred to me though, I can write quicker than I can, fund other people to draw it or draw it myself.
Right.
So that's kind of why I'm doing a Midnight in the Roustabouts, the Western story, in like a pulp with a comic book section in the middle of all the different stories. I thought about novels. I thought about something shorter like an ash can or floppies. I really like the ash cans, but.
Well, that's the thing about writing though, too, especially if you have a good writer, he's going to be pumping out way more than any artist is ever going to be able to keep up with, because it just takes so much longer to draw a page than it does to write one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Justin, have you ever considered, like, if you were to do a novella in chapters or whatever, what about doing it as a podcast? Because you can basically do a reading of it and put out content on a regular basis. I do think that's one of the downsides of the fundraising comics thing, is there's so long between issues that you really have to go back again and look and see what it is. If you could have a way to put out content on a semi-regular basis, your audience will grow.
Right.
That,
well, and I definitely, so I'm definitely down with that notion and that idea. So thanks for that. So Substack, like, to me, is a more viable thing because of like what my strengths are, right? Where being a YouTube personality is not it.
Well,
yeah.
So, but with with the
Good.
podcast, it's just audio.
Right.
So
exactly. And that's, I'm right there with you. So yeah, and that's what's so cool about Substack. You can do both, you can do a audio version of it. You can put it behind like a certain area. Like I could do like a preview of that particular chapter and be like, cool, if you want the rest of this, subscribe. And then if people want a physical copy, then they can buy it. And that's the other thing too, is I feel like part of the artist, the part of the art is kind of missing in all of this. I think, to me, it would be a lot cooler to have a single piece, so like a cover, if you will, every chapter to convey a certain scene from that chapter, or maybe to possibly even bring something from the chapter before to set up for what's about to happen in that chapter, or something, just to link it there, because I think the illustrated books that's a lost art these days. And I think that way artists can still be involved in the creative process. People can still have a frame of reference when it comes to the wild and wacky things that I'm describing in the books. But it also, I don't know, it's just I feel like it needs a little more teasing and exploration, and we just haven't seen much of that anymore in media at large, really. I mean, everything's just consume, and I don't think we've done enough to really use the digital medium the way we should, and then also have it hand in hand with a physical printed medium, because now it's really easy for people to be able to print. You can just take that PDF, do whatever you got to make it printable, and then you just send it off to a printer. Pick a printer.
Right. And there's digital
X amount of copies. You can do a print on demand. I mean, you have options.
Yeah. So. A friend and I did a comic in the 90s, and we wanted to do it in color, and the minimum press run was 10,000 copies. Now you can get one, and that's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
I've been doing these animated movies, and it takes me 3 years to do one. So a YouTube presence really doesn't happen. Like my videos got discovered at one point, and there was a bunch of activity, but it goes away because I can't continually put out things. So I have thought, going in the future, what can I do that's like more of just segments that I could put out on a faster basis. But I do think that's kind of key is you can put out this great thing but it's there for a second, like a flare, and then it's gone. And how do you build on it without having more content coming out on a regular basis, so that you become a habit.
Well, and I think that maybe that's the other thing about it for me is, I guess I'm not really a content. I don't look at my work as being content. I can't. It's I have stories to tell, right? And so, and it's got to be told the way I want it told. I don't having that pressure to have to make sure that I'm like, got to get this out, got to do this and do that. It like messes with my creative process. So it's like, it's it's having to think out of like both sides of my brain. I'm like having to do things that I'm not, it's not really for me to be like, you know what I mean? Like there's just way too many skill sets that I don't have, you know. But
well, I mean, when you're juggling a full-time job,
yeah, that takes a
and
lot of
family life. It takes a lot.
yeah. Well, and by the way, my full-time job takes a lot of my mental energy out. So it's like by the time I get home, I'm like, I'm cool. Yeah. We'll just
we'll
watch Dexter episodes and get drunk on Friday nights. That's pretty much you know.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Mark Largent's project. It's called Stalled Track. Let me bring it up again.
That was cool looking.
Yeah. Thank you. He recently did a convention with it and had a world premiere. You want to talk about that just for a second?
Well, I don't. Technically, it's a world premiere, but it was just here in Dallas. And
okay,
but
I mean,
this is the third one and the final one of them, and so with the second one, I got to premiere it at the TrekCon in Vegas, and then just so happens that this last year, that they had one in Dallas, and I was like, great, I don't have to travel or do anything. So I went ahead and contacted them and got to show the film to that way. But I'm still working on trying to get all the physical stuff done so that I can fulfill. I have this complete version, and then I had the previous one, which was for the third film.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's take a look at the trailer and give us a better glimpse of it.
Good old
welcome to Choppy Ass Theater.
Choppy Ass Theater.
Yep. Nothing better for anime. Nothing better for
that Viewmaster feel.
Yeah.
It's the Xenoscope.
Yeah. Nothing better for animation than Choppy Ass
Theater. 3D images too. You went the extra mile with that.
Nice. now, correct. Yeah. Okay, so congratulations, Rex, on your 1000th episode. I'm gonna have to go, but correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't I the one that coined the phrase "choppy ass theater"? Wasn't that me?
Are you the one? Are you?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was me.
I'm gonna second 100% positive that it was Justin.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with that. Thank you, Justin, for coming on.
Yes,
appreciate you, bro.
That looks like fun stuff there, Mark, just so you know.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Bye, Justin.
Yeah.
Bye.
Justin, I think Rex should have to pay you a royalty every time he uses Choppy Ass Theater.
No. Oh my God. I do love
Justin actually transferred the rights to that over to me. Rex has to pay me.
Oh, yeah.
And why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
That's right. All right. See y'all.
Bye, Justin.
Bye.
Thank your wife for your time.
Good to see you. Yeah. We'll see you later.
All righty then.
I want to say hi, Mark, and hey, Dillard.
Hey, Fanta.
Actually, I thought
Hello,
it was the artist that will not be mentioned.
No, it was not.
What
no,
was
it? Was Justin. No,
was
it was
Justin. Okay, all right. Well, good. I feel better about it now.
I want to say thank you for having me on to celebrate your 1000th episode, Rex. I'm going to have to jump off. My puppy's crying if you can hear him in the background.
Okay, you got a new puppy. You had Poot, your old one.
Yeah,
Poot. And then
Poot.
what's your new one?
I don't know what I call him the baby.
Really? You haven't named it yet?
And he comes to the baby. Everybody has a name for him. He's
Name
an
him.
odd little guy.
Name him Scoot.
Scoot.
Yeah, on Scoot on the carpet.
Scoot.
They do that. Yeah. Scoot and Poot.
But thank you so much and congratulations.
Well, you take care, Fanta.
All
Name
right.
him Poot,
Bye.
Scoot, and then get a third dog and name it Boogie.
Oh God, I'm out.
Poot, Scoot, and Boogie. Wow, how long did that take him to think that up? Far too long.
See, Rex, you put on Star Trek and everybody left. Ran everybody off.
Yeah, I don't think it was that. I wanted to make sure Justin saw that because it's good stuff,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that's because it's based off of the inferior Trek.
The inferior Trek. The original series is the inferior Trek?
Yeah, you should have based it off the superior TNG.
Well,
what he grew up with as a kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I grew up with I did watch. I was in college when TNG started, but
You're a liar. There's no way you grew up watching the original Star Trek. It's too old.
no, I watched it in reruns. But I was
Yeah.
born in '68.
I did see the original, when it was broadcasting.
Well, I believe that. You're fucking ancient, Rick.
I am ancient. Yeah, I'll be 60 next year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
no.
60. Yeah, in a
60.
pig's eye, 60.
60 this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, don't hate on me just because my middle name is Methuselah. Stop it. Really? Nothing? Leave me hanging.
Is it really my job
a
to laugh
tree.
at terrible jokes, Rex?
Yes, that's why I'm bringing you on here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Now I'm about 6 days from now. I will be 57, which seems impossible.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I can't do crickets.
Wow.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That was a plague in Egypt, wasn't it? Frogs and dogs falling, hell everywhere,
Dylan, I have considered doing the Next Generation, but and there's actually a clip I put in an after credits thing with the Next Generation in this. But the trick is that it's hard to figure out to find an episode to parody that's not sort of out of the ordinary. The great thing with the original series is they really were self-contained. And also they in the original series, the sets were a lot easier to build.
I bet.
Yeah. But no, I've considered it.
I'm not saying you need to do anything. All I'm saying is my favorite episode of and I'm not even that big of a Trek fan, but there was this episode where that idiot Worf goes into a bar and he asks this lady if she knows any Klingon opera.
Oh, yeah.
And she starts to play the Klingon opera, and then you see this look come across Worf's face as he's taken back to his childhood. His eyes go a little bit crossed. He just whispers, "Ah, my lorda."
You know, I'll show off my nerdiness. I'm fairly sure that that's the one with there are four lights, where Picard is captured by the Cardassians, and while he's doing that, they're running around doing. I'm not positive on that, but I think that might be that episode. But they're trying to find a Ferengi or something, and yeah, they have to go to this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think even though they didn't have direct continuity on the Next Generation, there is still more you have to know. Star Trek was basically Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. As long as you understood a little bit about Spock, you could figure out what's going on. You didn't need to know that that Geordi once fell in love with a holodeck person, or
Right,
that,
right.
that all the backstories that they have.
I kind of like the episode when Picard, with the flute, where he learned to play the flute and grew old, and then
the inner light,
a sipper, what life could have been like, and then his return to the vineyards where he grew up, and his brother and older, and their jealousy,
family,
and rivalry. I stayed, you went, and it's kind of the prodigal son story in a way.
Right, yeah. Well, that was a cool episode too, because it was right after the Best of Both Worlds, and they really didn't do episodes that directly continued from a story. Usually, like the Inner Light, that is a case where he lives an entire lifetime, and to him it's decades, and he comes back and it's only been 15 minutes. But they don't reference that again. But the family was like, being at the Borg screwed him up, and he had to go home. And
I think there was an episode later, and it might have been in Picard or something I've seen, where they actually allude to that episode. I don't know. You say reference, they never referenced it again. I think they did allude, and it might have been the playing instrument, that they worked into something.
It's possible, but they didn't do another episode showing him in therapy trying to get over.
No, they didn't. No,
over this thing. But in a sense, that's what the episode family was. That was such a big deal that they decided to actually let him have to come to grips with it. Which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a dream sequence, but you have trauma, mentally or whatever, a sense of loss with the character, forever changes the personality of the character.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice writing there, I think.
Yeah. I think
with that, without really setting other episodes in the future, he must be this way because of this. It's something that can kind of be affects him, but it to what in something, a touchstone that you can go back to and touch upon if you wish, and you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, there was the episode of the original series with Nomad where it wiped Uhura's brain, and she had to start relearning living. But in the next episode, she was fine.
Yeah. Well, they did say within that episode that she learned at a high rate, and so I think maybe it was maybe the newness, the trauma, and it as she developed the basic skills of education, I think it probably came easier and easier and easier to her. That's kind of in my mind how it happened, to where she's like, hey, I'm on duty now. I don't have to be dumped off on some asteroid, and re-educated for 18 years and not be on the show ever again.
Yeah. And who needs memories? Your mom is just a pain in the butt. You don't need to remember that. But yeah, so there's a trick with Star Trek that it's their morality plays, and I really think they work best that way.
Yeah.
It is good when they become more sophisticated, but then it doesn't hold up if it's too sophisticated.
Yeah, that's Roddenberry always kind of plays with. I highly recommend that you watch Have Gun Will Travel, especially like the second, third season for sure. A lot of Gene Roddenberry stories in that. He did those Westerns before Star Trek. And in some of those episodes are like the guy that played Apollo, never can remember him.
Michael something.
He did a lot of Westerns. He was even in one with Leonard Nimoy. They were brothers in the story.
Okay.
But Leonard Nimoy did, he's played Indians and in different, before, and William Shatner as well. So DeForest Kelly. I mean, he's been in not just Shane or what was it? Was it Shane? He was in
Gunfight at OK Corral.
Gunfight, yeah, but he was also in.
Was he in Shane? I don't remember that.
He was in a big movie at the time
I'm not
in the
picturing where
50s.
you're talking about putting it very well. Huh?
But
What are you doing, Shadow?
I said I'm not picturing where you're talking about putting it on the truck very well because you got the fucking tire back there and all that shit. I don't know where that big tire anymore. Okay.
I do think though that Gunfight at the OK Corral was his biggest film.
Yeah, I mean, that was with
I don't know.
Burt Lancaster, right? And
yeah,
that
and
version.
Kirk Douglas. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kirk
I really,
Douglas.
when it comes to the different iterations of that story, that's not one that I, really grabs me. But
But I think that was the biggest one that he did. He wasn't a big star.
Well, he did a lot of bit parts,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, in westerns.
Yeah.
He was in The Deputy with Henry Fonda. Played a bad guy, that gets his comeuppance at the end. I mean, he doesn't die. He doesn't shoot him dead, but he, goes to prison or, if he's, I don't know if he's hung or what, but
yeah, he did play a lot of bad guys.
Yeah.
But there's an episode I think of Man from U.N.C.L.E. that Shatner and Nimoy are in.
Yeah.
Pre-Star Trek.
Together in the same episode. Yeah. I've seen that and clips of it and stuff. Yeah. I just like that 50s, 60s Western stuff and going, wow, that's Robert Redford, or whatever,
Yeah.
The young man, or what's some others? The guy that was on Quantum Leap.
Oh, Dean Stockwell?
Yeah, Dean Stockwell. And his brother was an actor as well. Now, he died fairly early on, but I've seen Dean Stockwell recently in a lot of stuff too. His brother, rather. But yeah, Dean was very young. He did multiple Wagon Trains. I haven't watched those in a while, but I remember seeing Dean Stockwell in that. Really, it was that and some of the 80s stuff that he did that really brought him to my radar, who Dean Stockwell was. But he started out as kind of like Mickey Rooney as a childhood actor, or another one, the guy that played Beretta.
Oh,
he was a little rascal.
He was Mickey Giggly Glue. He had like an Italian name, and then he was, what was it when he was Robert
Blake.
Robert Blake, that's right.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A weird connection I found out today that I'd never heard of is Cubby Broccoli, who did the James Bond things.
Yeah.
And then his stepson, Michael G. Wilson, and his daughter, Barbara Broccoli, took it over. Mm-hmm. Michael G. Wilson's father is Lewis Wilson, who was the guy who played Batman in the 1943 series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a Batman James Bond connection.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's on a lot of Westerns there's Star Trek type stuff. I just watched an episode where, the first Romulan encounter on the line.
Balance of Terror, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the guy that would later become the Spock guy, but it was the guy in the helmet that gave him problems in that episode. And he was in a lot of those Westerns and things, and he played a bad guy in Daniel Boone season 3 that I'm watching right now, in an episode I watched earlier today. I said, yeah, I know that guy. He's played Romulans and other stuff,
Yeah.
in the
Well,
original Star Trek.
back then there weren't a lot of reruns, so you could
Yeah.
appear on multiple episodes of a show because each season they could put you on
Yeah,
as
and
somebody
you had
else.
you had like Paramount, you had MGM, you had a studio system, and
Yeah.
a lot of those, and a lot of the directors, let's face it, like John Ford, let's just say him. He had like Warren Bond and John Wayne, of course, and the guy that played Festus, and he had just different actors that would be in all his movies. Same way on
Yeah.
television, you would see them play multiple roles. Sometimes they'd be a good guy, sometimes a bad guy, sometimes just a sort of a guy, a face in the crowd, part of the town,
Yeah.
citizen. But
it
they
would be
kept
funny when
employed.
they'd be on again and have a mustache, so that
Right.
they weren't the
Yeah.
same. Or
Yeah.
the actresses would have a brunette wig one time and a blonde wig the next time.
Buffalo
Different
Hunter
person.
in one,
Yeah.
and a Crow Indian, in the next one, attacking. Yeah.
Yeah.
With maybe even a rubber head prosthetic,
Yeah.
I saw that with one of the actors that played a Mohican. They had to do
Oh, okay.
the Mohawk, so they had to rubber head him.
Yeah, it would be interesting to ask some of those guys what they would have thought if they'd known that in the future at some point we'd be able to watch every episode they did, pause it, see it in HD on a big giant screen, because I'm sure that they were just putting those out because it was you especially early on. I know with the Lone Ranger, it started in '49. They did an episode for every week of the year. They did 52 episodes per season. 52. So they would rerun them again the next year, but still, that's a lot of episodes to put out in
a season on some of these things were like 30 something episodes one season.
Yeah.
They would work year round. Same thing on Doctor Who in the UK. They worked most of the year. They would take a couple week holiday here, a week there, something, a break, and rotate that around with the ensemble of the characters. And sometimes write out certain characters, on certain episodes so they could take holiday, or say, well, you're not in this one too much. We'll shoot your scenes early and then you can go on holiday. But yeah, I mean, what's really wild is, Jay Cobb that played in The Virginian. He was the old rough, gruff guy, and was.
I was going to say he always had gray hair.
12 Angry Young Men, or what was it?
12 Angry Men.
12. The courthouse drama. Yeah,
he was the jerk in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was a bad guy in one. The Man of the West with Gary Cooper. He was the main villain in that. He was he was Gary Cooper's uncle that he grew up in, and then Gary Cooper left the crime family, and he comes and he gets thrown off the train and happens to go back there and says, "Yeah, I'm back," and none of them trust him. Even Cobb, he's kind of out of his head. He's happy that he's back, but he does him wrong. The lady that he said he wouldn't touch, he rapes basically. And,
oh boy!
And so Gary Cooper has to shoot his old mentor, that he had to get away for just from sanity because he was always into crime and horrendous stuff.
It is astonishing I mean, obviously Westerns are a genre, so you can kind of tell any story you want, but it is astonishing how many Western stories had to have been told. I mean, all of these shows. I mean, in some like Bonanza and Gunsmoke.
Oh, so you know what? Since I've been blitzkrieging different TV shows and movies and stuff, they lift. I don't know how. Maybe they sell the same story twice, but they may change it up just a little bit, variants. But it's the same story. It's the very same premise and story.
I have heard that there were some of the writers would do that. They just
Yeah.
they go and sell the same story to different and just change.
And
the
you didn't
character
have
name.
it on rerun where you could see it. So they might have done it in like the late 70s, and then in the early 60s they retell it again on another show.
Yeah.
The same
Well,
story.
I was actually reading that that Bewitched fell apart because of that. Like, it ran long enough that they just started reusing scripts.
Wow.
Because they figured after like 5 years they
Mhm.
could just get away with it, and the show just completely tanked. But yeah, it would be interesting to go back and say, you know, would you have done this differently if you knew people were going to be able to watch these things endlessly? Because I'm sure you had a thought that this is going to air one time. Maybe it'll be repeated in the summer if it's one of the episodes they pick to do it, and then
Right.
it'll never be seen again.
Right. Yeah. And often wasn't saved back then, you know, like a lot of the Doctor Who episodes just wiped, destroyed.
Yeah, they just
because it was
taped over them. Yeah,
depending on how they shot it, you know, if it's on the video reels and they wipe those things, I guess magnetically, right, and then they come back and record another thing over it, you know, and reuse the reel. But
I want to say that the Monty Python guys got wind of it and made some kind of deal to buy them to keep that from happening to the Monty Python episodes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. It's insane
that you would ever want to wipe that stuff, you know.
But you know, it's like silent movies. You know, once sound came in, they thought, well, we're never going to need these silents again.
Mhm.
So a lot of them just were destroyed or, you know, thrown
or
away.
on flammable nitrate film anyway.
They already were. You know, I just got a disc with the first 6 of the silent Little Rascals, Our Gang.
Oh yeah, I've got a few of those. Yeah,
they I want to say it's Classic Flicks or something. There's a company that has been they did
and they were called Our Gang up until the 50s, and then they rebranded them on rewinds because you had like Woody Woodpecker commercial, you had a Little Rascal short, all that before the movie. You would see an hour long of a newsreel, stuff like that, even when I was a kid, and it was wonderful. You know, you got
Hal Roach sold Our Gang to MGM, and that's when they made the ones with Robert Blake and Froggy and those. So
they called them Little Rascals.
MGM called them Our Gang, but Hal Roach still owned the old ones. And when he put them on TV, he wasn't allowed to call them Our Gang because MGM owned the rights to the name Our Gang.
Oh, okay.
So he made the name of the Little Rascals.
Well, and a lot of people don't know it, but there were a lot of spinoffs from Hal Roach. They were trying to do it. And there's a story that Shirley Temple tried out and was rejected. Yet her and her mother say that wasn't true, but it probably was, and they just didn't want to know that she was
possible.
Rejected.
Yeah, especially because they didn't have a lot of female characters, so I'm sure if they had one in place, they weren't really looking to add more. But I was watching them, and you know, they're one reelers, so they're about 20 minutes long or whatever, and they're still pretty funny. I mean, it is wild thinking they're from like 1921 or 1922, so they're over 100 years old. And it's weird watching these things and realizing that every person attached to this is dead. There's not, it's so long ago.
The Lone Ranger radio show just a few days ago was the anniversary of their first broadcast in New York on the radio in 1920. So Lone Rangers was out. You know, a lot of these properties were out on radio before they ever made it to TV.
Yeah. 33 was when the Lone Ranger started, but yeah, they did, and they continued doing the Lone Ranger even when it went on TV. I don't think the radio show ended until 54.
And there were multiple Lone Rangers before we kind of settled on what Clayton Moore that played sort of the definitive, but there were ones that played them in movie serials and stuff, and sometimes even had a full face mask, like.
Yeah, it was like some kind of some kind of screen over the bottom.
Yeah, Tim Tyler played. Who played the
Yeah.
Mummy. He also played the Lone Ranger. Multiple things. Tim Tyler was pretty big. Played a lot of westerns.
Yeah, there was the first long lasting Ranger. I'm trying to remember. It was Earl something was his name, and he got killed in a car accident. And Brace Beamer took over, and they did a thing.
What a name!
Yeah, they did a thing where in the radio show they made the Lone Ranger got sick or something. He couldn't talk for a couple, so they could so that they could ease you into the new voice. But
Okay. That's smart.
the thing was, Brace Beamer couldn't do the Hi-Yo Silver away, the big yell.
Hi-Yo Silver away!
Yeah. They continued to use the Dead Guys tape of that. And the one that you hear at the beginning of the TV show is also that guy. They never credited him, but they continued to use his Hi-Yo Silver cry.
It's almost like that scream where they go off the cliff. Whatever. They keep using
the
that.
Wilhelms. Yeah, the Wilhelms
there you go.
scream.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild that there is so much content that's ripe to be. I mean, yeah, like you said, if you liked Lone Ranger and you watched the TV show, there's decades of the radio program. The Jack Benny show, I think, did start in the 20s, or at least they started recording them like in 27 or the very early 30s.
Radio, the theater of the mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you had sci-fi shows, you had westerns, you had Jack Benny, like you said, you had comedies. I'm sure
lots of detective shows. Yeah,
I'm sure that Gracie and
Burns and Allen.
Burns and Allen were on the radio for a long time before they went on TV. And and then Gunsmoke, I think, also started on the radio because Gunsmoke in the late 70s.
What was his name? The guy who played Cannon. He was the voice of Marshall Dillon. Yeah, he was also the voice of the Shadow for a while, and Orson Welles was the Shadow.
First Shadow. I saw one episode. I can't remember because it's all been. Maybe it was a movie, but the guy that played Doc on Gunsmoke, he played kind of like a guy that was kind of paranoid about the Indians and always, kind of getting him in trouble. I think he even catches an arrow. I don't think it kills him, but but yeah, it's like, that'll teach you to keep your big mouth shut, Doc.
Well, and I've seen extras on some of these old movies too. If a movie was popular enough for a promotional reason, they would do like a live radio version of it. It was abridged, obviously, but they'd have some of the cast, and they've included it on some of these DVDs and stuff. And so there was just an enormous amount of content. Of course, a lot of it was lost, but a lot of it does still exist.
Yeah.
And I mean, you really could.
It's really sad that, a lot of it wasn't recorded, that it was live and it was just live performance, like theater, especially in the 50s. And we won't ever get to see that historical moment. It's lost to time.
Right.
That helped form sort of the consciousness of people at the time, like the Honeymooners, and it quit on top, just like I Love Lucy. It quit when it was on top. Number one in the rating, and there's a whole story behind that. But and I would say that probably his most popular thing he ever did. I mean, he did the Cannonball Run movies, and he played the sheriff and stuff like that, but I don't think Jackie Gleason was ever any bigger than at that moment. And it was short.
But you even know, though, he did the Jackie Gleason show up until like the early 70s, I think. And he would do Honeymooner skits. So they continued to do it. But you try to watch them in there, it's hard to watch. Because they were the ones that he did for the actual show were much better than the skits were. But But yeah,
what
so
really
much-
throws me is when they say, you know, some celebrity name that you've never heard of, you know, like, you know, Fatty Arbuckle. Of course, I know
Yeah.
who he is, but I mean, who? You know, the joke is kind of lost on you.
Yeah.
At that point,
Well,
you know.
I work with people in their 20s, and it's shocking how few people they know. It always surprised me. Because I was talking about 3D movies, and I was talking about House of Wax, and this girl that works for me, she knew that there was a remake recently of House of Wax, and I was going, no, the original one with Vincent Price, and she kind of
back in the 30s, or
Yeah,
no,
said,
actually,
50,
there's
it
a
was
House of
50.
Wax that even goes back to the 30s.
Yeah, it was a remake of the first, but she'd never heard of Vincent Price.
Now, wasn't it Jamie Farr? Isn't that his name that played Klinger on MASH?
Yeah, Jamie Farr.
He was a comedian backup or whatever. He was part of the ensemble on the Jack Benny show back in the 60s.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
I've listened to tons of the radio shows, and I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes of the TV show. It wasn't on in syndication wherever I live.
Yeah.
So I've caught a few of them, but
that's why I like watching the old things and go, wow, that's Jamie Farr from MASH, you know.
Yeah.
Which, you know, some of the celebrities I knew from other shows, like long before the Bionic Man, I knew Lee Majors from Big Valley.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And it wasn't, there was something about Big Valley and all the Westerns I just didn't care for as a kid. You know,
I liked the Big Valley. Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay, but it wasn't one of my favorites out of all the Westerns. Maybe not enough.
It wasn't my favorite, but I remember also watching High Chaparral.
Yeah.
But there's Harry Shearer, comedian. I mean, I guess nowadays he's most known for doing voices for The Simpsons, but you know, he was on SNL. He was in Spinal Tap. When he was a kid, he was cast as what was the obnoxious Eddie Haskell. He was cast as Eddie Haskell in the pilot for Leave It to Beaver.
Okay. But he didn't get the recurring role of Eddie Haskell, right?
But he did a ton of Jack Benny's as a little kid. You know,
hello, Mr. Benny.
No, he didn't do that.
Okay.
He didn't do Rochester. He was a little kid, but
Rochester.
If Jack Benny had a thing with the kid, it was just Harry Shearer, and Harry Shearer was in one of the Abbott and Costello movies.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool that these people who have these connections sort of bridge the gap back to Golden.
Well, you heard
Hollywood.
me talking about Glenn Strange, I think, on one episode where, I mean, he, did Frankenstein, had the Aurora model, which influenced Incredible Hulk. That's what Stan Lee was confronted with, is this Aurora model is very popular.
And The Mask that was out was based on Glenn Strange, not Boris Karloff.
Yeah, exactly. He made a good looking, the worst looking though, Frankenstein was Bela Lugosi. He just
it's terrible. Yeah, he looked like he was short and
crow-like face. It's but I often think if he would have accepted the Frankenstein role in the early 30s, how his career probably would have been changed and pushed Boris Karloff to the side down the road, who might have came out later with something else, but he wouldn't have totally taken the horror genre over from Bela Lugosi at that point, because he had it at his feet with Dracula, but he just turned down Frankenstein, and that he wouldn't have made a great looking Frankenstein, but it was a non-speaking part, and that was the good thing about it. It's non-speaking part, and he had that Hungarian accent. He all he had to do was something, and we probably would have accepted it. I don't think it would have been known as a real classic movie by today's standards. I mean, it's still a classic probably if Boris Karloff, or Bela Lugosi rather, had done it instead of Boris Karloff, because he really brought the range to that. role in the
Yeah,
first 2 movies.
I think Boris Karloff was a better actor than
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Something with the Frankenstein thing. I don't remember now. But I just to say that Glenn Strange circles back to Lone Ranger because he played the original. What's the guy who kills his brother and all the people?
ambushes them, bushwhacks.
Yeah. For some reason, I've forgotten the name. Yeah.
He played a lot of Western bad guys. I mean,
he had a craggly face.
Well, I mean, he was like 6'5" or something. He was a tall, big guy. You know.
Yeah.
He played the main bad guy in a lot of those things. I watched some where he goes up against Buster Crabbe, and that's going way back there to the early 50s. He did a lot of Westerns, in his career. And then I played Frankenstein in Abbott and Costello episode, of course. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things in the world when I was growing up, were the Abbott and Costello monster movies. Mm-hmm. Those were, because I love monsters, but I was chicken of monsters.
Yeah.
But I could watch them in Abbott and Costello because there was funny stuff, so that wasn't scary.
Slapstick with the monsters.
Yeah. I was
The
telling my nephews about the fact that that as a little kid I was petrified of the Abominable on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that I had actually never seen the Abominable, because as soon as the music would play and they would say, and it was like ominous things or whatever, I was out of the room, and I was like, "Is he gone? Can I come back?"
Yeah, almost like the aisle of forgotten toys where you had the Abominable Snowman, right, with the teeth, and he gets teeth pulled.
That's exactly, the Abominable from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That scared the snot out of me. And then, of course, when I got older and I would stay in the room, I was going,
How about
that.
Wizard of Oz, the witch?
Oh, the witch was pretty terrifying.
Or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the guy that with the big nose and the top hat and the hook and the net to catch children with.
That is horrifying.
It is horrifying. Yes. Even when you're older and shouldn't be scared, you're like, I don't like this guy,
Well, when you're a grown up, you're thinking, how the hell did they make a kids movie?
Exactly. Yeah. How did they get this in here? I mean, I still look at that one episode of Kirk when his double from the transporter thing
or tries to rape.
Or tries to rape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's disturbing big time.
It is. For the time on that television, that was sensitive material.
Yes.
Even today, it's kind of like, whoa. We know Kirk is kind of out there with the ladies, but he would never force him, and pull the captain number,
Right. Yeah.
On a subordinate.
Yeah.
That's almost like when they go to the evil empire, right?
Oh,
and Leonard Nimoy's got the mustache and all like that.
Mirror,
mirror. And Sulu's got the big scar right there on his face.
And he's trying to hit on Uhura through the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, they were all, you kill somebody to advance in rank, and then and then they got the torture tube.
Yeah. Even Chekhov had Chekhov was trying to kill somebody.
And he failed in it, and they put him in that tube and torture him.
What was it? It was Antagonizer or Tantalus Field or something for the name of that thing.
Yeah.
Had the secret button that you could push.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, just ask your questions. I'll tell you anything. It's like, I don't have any questions for you. I'm just watching you roast in that thing.
Yeah.
Sadistic.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, man. But for the time, kind of shocking. There
were some things that were. You know what? I tell you, the episode that scared me the most when I was a kid was it was the one where they the aliens could reduce them down to these little styrofoam. Yes. And
It was styrofoam.
it was like little styrofoam things or whatever. And I remember, though, just that thought that you could be reduced down to these,
Essence. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Take all the water out.
Yes, and you're just this little amount of dust, basically. And then that's actually one of the rare times that they killed off a female member of the crew, because he did two, and you didn't know which one that he had killed. And when they bring him back, you find out it's the girl that he killed.
I can think of one other, and it was kind of inadvertently when they're growing older and she ages, that small little actress that dies early.
Yeah.
But Chekhov's unaffected because he had the adrenaline going and he was scared, and that was I can remember. Just ask me anything. Ask me anything. It's like, no, man, get out of here. You're gonna die in a few moments. Put them back in the transporter.
Yeah, that's what Dillard was talking about, doing the Next Generation or whatever, and saying, "Well, you're too old to watch Star Trek." You may not be old enough to remember when it was only the original series, and there were only 79 episodes, so you watched them over and over again in reruns. Yeah, you see all these episodes
and the Filmation stuff. Of course, that only came out, and then they didn't rerun that. It was
not for long. Yeah. And the Filmation ones, I appreciate that they had writers from the original series. I appreciate
and all the voices except for Chekhov.
Right. Yeah. But those episodes are hard to watch.
I know they are, especially some of them that weren't really that great. But it's cool that they showed situations that there's no way they could have done in the original on the budget that they had.
Absolutely, yeah. That was
like there's this big stellar ship, and the Enterprise is wee little up against it. I guess they could have did trick. Really, when you think about it, Star Trek, the original series, I really like some of the special effects where the globular with the, comes up close, and and just the web being
that Foley and Webb looked good.
Yeah, that is, some of the effects were actually pretty good, for the time. It was all in garish color because the TVs didn't have the range, and they that they used to.
I think I read recently, though, that no new shots of the Enterprise were used in season 3. They reused all shots that they had done before.
Well, by that time, Roddenberry disavowed the whole thing.
Said, he wasn't. Right? Yeah, he got mad that they put him on at a terrible time, because I think they put him on Friday nights at 9 p.m. or something like that. And I think
they switched them to Sunday at one time or something. They had a couple of different time switches.
Yeah,
they just messing with it.
Yeah, they put them in death slots. They were just getting rid of them.
Death slots. We're going to kill you, Kirk. Klingons can't do it. Romulans can, but we can.
Well, and too, that the show had been saved by a letter writing campaign. They did not want that to happen at the end of the 3rd season, so they held one episode. One episode didn't air until like May or June, and the reason why they did that was because if people would call in and say, "Is Star Trek canceled?" they said, "No, it's still on." But that really meant that they just had one more episode they were going to show, and it was canceled.
Yeah. They pulled a fast one. Yeah.
They pulled a fast one because they did not want that letter writing campaign.
Well, they didn't get what they bargained for. He kind of sold it as Wagon Train to the Stars, and the Westerns was like
he was
when the comedies came in, a lot of the Westerns were canceled. And, the legislation that Ted Kennedy, that kind of killed the great violence, like in Johnny Quest and the cartoons, did the same thing to the Westerns. And then by that time, you had a lot of Native Americans saying, we don't want to play these roles anymore, where we're the bad guys,
Well, when they got to play them, usually it was some Italian guy who played.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Again, that guy that played Apollo, I think he's probably Italian. I don't know, but he looks Italian.
But yeah, they that was the hilarious thing, is that they decided the violence was too casual and that it needed to be more serious. So you went from Wild Wild West, which they said was too violent, to like Starsky and Hutch, where it was like graphic violence.
Yeah, yeah,
It's better to have the real guns and showing the real consequences. And look, you know, in westerns there was a lot of you got me.
Yeah.
Kind of
well,
stuff.
I mean,
we didn't need to know people's head blowing off. We didn't need to see it.
Robert Fuller that went on later to do Emergency in the
Emergency,
and he didn't want to do it. But he said, "Give me a western." They're like, "There are no westerns, Robert." You know. But he was in Laredo, I believe was his show.
Okay, yeah.
Or 3 or 4. I love that show as a kid. And they always had the kid in there, you know, for somebody my age, which was brilliant because, you know, we watched what our parents watched.
Absolutely. You had one television. Yeah.
Now, when it came to Star Trek, maybe I was the only one and they kind of drifted off, you know, but, you know, I love Star Trek, the original Star Trek when it came out because it just expanded my, you know, but Robert Fuller said, yeah, we would have like so many stunts and we'd have like 6 people dead and then it became 4 and then it became 2 and then there was you got to watch yourself in this bar fight, you know, and it just became ridiculous, you know. It became less action oriented over time.
Yeah, that really does take away from,
and it was all because of the legislation of too much graphic violence on TV, you know.
Yeah, so they went to realistic violence, and we ended up with Columbine.
Shows like Beretta and Adam 12, and it really was kind of like in the 70s, the more realistic.
Yes,
you know, almost like get your camera out and film it type stuff, you know.
You mentioned Emergency and Adam 12. I went through
almost like reality TV, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I went through a kick when Netflix first started doing streaming. There wasn't a lot to choose from, and I don't remember if it was Netflix or Amazon Prime, but they had Adam 12 and they had Emergency, and I went through the entire series of both of those.
Yeah, I loved Emergency when it was out, and one reason was Robert Fuller. He really was a great actor.
Well, you know, I watched Emergency when it was in syndication during the day. As a kid, and I remember I kept saying Emergency 1, and people said it was just Emergency, and I was going, no, it was called Emergency 1. And then I went, they finally showed it on some cable thing, and it was Emergency, and it had an exclamation mark, and I was like, did I think the exclamation mark was one? It turns out no, the show they had TV shows had different names if they were in syndication while they were still on in prime time. So like when MASH was on, the syndicated MASH was called MASH 4077. And Emergency was called Emergency 1. Okay. And all the shows, I went and found because I was curious about it. I went and found screen captures of these things because that was what they did. Is they had, I guess, because they didn't want people to be confused looking in the TV guide, but they would give the syndicate. Now, as soon as it went off the air, the syndicated show would get the regular title. But these TV shows had different titles when they were being shown during the day. They did it up until the early 80s. I think I was trying to remember because some of them had some pretty funny names, but you know, you didn't pay attention to it because you were just watching the show. The fact that they had a different title card didn't really matter that much, but that was what. So in my head, that show is Emergency 1.
The grandfather that played in Dukes of Hazzard, you know, that's kind of where I knew where he had like a beard like this. You know, I forget the actor's name, but played
Bob Denver Pyle.
He goes way back to the late 50s doing westerns. He was in a lot of those westerns, usually as a bad guy, but not always, you know. But yeah, he did a bunch of those, and also the sheriff, you know, he went way back. I can't stand him. I can't take him
Uh,
seriously. He always
Best.
played these
Something
smarmy
Jason.
little backstabbing, characters. It was,
Yeah.
that was usually what he was typecast in. He did a lot of those westerns. But I never like it. I never kind of like him as an actor because he's just such a slimy character in everything he plays.
I don't know. He was funny as Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah. I mean, he always did, kind of funny type stuff, slapstick.
Yeah. I always thought it was hilarious
character.
that Sorrell Books was like a New York stage actor who was a serious actor. He was not from the South.
Well,
and he played Boss Hogg. Yeah.
Was it Joseph Robarb that was Broadway actor, and he was in that movie with Charles Bronson and the something West, I forget. That was just anyway. Yeah. Anyway,
but yeah, there were some of those guys who were from the North.
It was a Leone movie. It was after the trilogy with Clint Eastwood that he did.
Okay.
Jason Robarb, he played in that, and he was a Broadway actor.
Is that Jason Robards or
Robards? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was kind of wild casting for that movie.
Yeah.
But it was one of those spaghetti westerns, but beautifully done. It shows you that. I mean, I think all the westerns that we almost got oversaturated, and like I said, they would redo stories, but now he made it where it's like he took the very best and it was almost like a parody and everything. West. He actually came to Monument Valley, shot some of it. It was shot most of it in Spain. Even transported some of the red earth.
Yeah, you told me about that, having to spray paint the sand or dirt or whatever to match.
Yeah, and beautiful, beautiful film. But he said, I want to remind people, with this movie, and it wasn't a success here, but it was in France, and but a wonderful movie. I think it's aged very well. I think we're more accepting of it as a classic movie, but they said it went way too long and, not enough action, but he was one of those that kind of captured the moment and showed that American West could have a bigger, broader canvas and could be great, and we kind of lost that doing one after another. And there's not the studio system now where they got the backlots with all the towns and all the props and the horses and the handlers and all that,
and the ranch that you go to for every single.
It was the handlers. It was the handlers that got rich with the horses and the trained dogs and stuff like that. Again, it's like the gold rush. It wasn't the people seeking gold it was a person that sold the picks and shovels and buckets and stuff, that got rich, very smart. So, anyway, we're going to get out of here, Mark. Well, I still got some hours on StreamYard.
I was going to say, was this a 1,000-hour episode of?
I'm going to do a marathon, but it'll be a couple days from now.
Okay, well, don't end up like your 1,000th episode.
Okay, yeah. That looked like Psycho's mother with a beard. It looked like Tom Baker in a few years. He's already got the
my
hair.
Goodness. Have you seen how thin he is? I mean,
91 years old the other day. Yeah.
But good for
Still going strong. Yeah. He brought a smile to my face. Trump being elected and 91-year-old Tom Baker. What could you ask for more? And MLK, Martin Luther King Day. So,
True.
Wolf 258 in the house. Thousands. Congrats. Thanks, Wolf. Appreciate that. Hell the chat. We're going on to our 1,000th stream. You just wait.
That's right.
Say the magic words. Give it to me. Yeah. Ask your question. Go ahead.
James, stop this crazy thing.
Yeah, there you go. The Jetsons. I love it. K-pop in the house coming in. Yeah, thank you, K-pop.
Hey.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Here's to 1,000 more, and I'm out of wine. So out of wine in the stein. You know, I had this thing 40 years ago. Was playing the Bohemian Artist at college. You know, with this thing. Still got it. Anyway, congrats on the 1,000 to Shadowhawk, my co-host, and to great guests like Mark and Dillard, and thank you, Justin and Fanta, and all the great people that came on today. And
here's to another 1,000.
Here's to another 1,000. Amen. Keep collecting. And there's Bone dropping in. If we win another hour, we get another 30 people in here. But I ain't doing it.
Ain't doing it.